Welcome back, everyone. Again, another episode, a new week, new episode. Like everyone knows, Behind the Mask is uploading every week. As you can see on my t-shirt, for the guys who are watching this instead of listening, this episode is a special one. For this episode, I invited Zeus from ECE and Sonny, better known as Jaeger, the captain of Saviors, to sit down and talk about NSL Pro Series 2025. We will go over some topics like the new layout, every team, and yeah, you will know everything you need to know to keep an eye on the Pro Series this year. Also, we will have some predictions, our own opinions. Um, be sure these are our own opinions. It's just a prediction, it's not a fact. So, guys, with that said, let's jump into the new episode. Yo, Sonny, Zeus, how are you guys?
Excellent, man. How are you?
I'm good. Sonny, how are you, man?
Yeah, doing fine, doing fine.
First of all, I'm gonna ask you guys, where are you tuning in from? Sonny, where are you tuning in from?
Well, I'm home in the Netherlands in my own little office, so just
And
here.
maybe for the people who don't know you, explain who are you?
I'm Sonny, aka Jaeger, or Sonny Toxic, like you like to call me. Uh, I'm the captain from the Saviors, a hybrid player, so I play pistol and I play the M4. I'm here from the Netherlands, The Hague, so I live really close to the beach. I've been playing Speedsoft for 5, 6 years now. Started with the pro division in NSL, and yeah, the saviors are well known, especially in the NSL. And I think we're currently the defending pro division champions of 2024.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay. Yeah, I think everybody already knows Sonny, but yeah, for the people who don't know, this is Sonny, Sonny Toxic, like I call him every time. And for you, Zeus, explain to the listeners and to the viewers, who are you?
So my name is Nick Cuoco. I am EC Zeus or East Coast Energy Zeus. I'm tuning in from Extreme Airsoft,
Let's go.
and yeah, man. I've been playing now for I think this is my third year. I started off with a group of guys that really didn't know anything about the game, and we just practiced and we just had so much belief in ourselves, and here we are. And
Yeah.
we're going for the globals next year too, baby.
Yes, sir. Okay. Like maybe everyone knows, I have two ruling champs, I'm gonna say. Saviors Sonny is the ruling champ from the Pro Series, and Zeus East Coast Energy is the ruling champ of Globals. As many will know, this episode will be a little bit different. I choose two specific people, Sonny and Zeus. Why? Because every time I talk with them, they have a great mindset and game strategic mind and just seeing and working themselves in the game. So this is the biggest reason I took both of them. As everyone knows, Sonny is also the captain slash coach of the Netherlands team from Nations Cup. Zeus is also a player, was a player and still is. We will see this year a player for USA Nations team. These guys have a great game sense and great mindset of just checking and viewing the game, to be honest. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna jump in the first thing. So guys, let's hope it will be a good one. Okay, as everyone knows, 2025 season for the Pro Series is coming soon. I think it's in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, are you guys excited for it?
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. Can't wait to blast some people in the Netherlands, bro. You know how it is.
Okay, okay. And you, Sonny, you're looking
Uh,
forward to it?
well, of course I am. I'm happy to play again, but it still feels like a little bit too early.
Mm.
Um, I think 24 has been a really long season. We started early in January as well with trainings. I think the first tournament also somewhere beginning of February, even sooner than we have now. And yeah, well, the Dutch Championship ended like at the 8th of December. So
Yeah.
we longed for a winter break. We didn't get it,
Okay.
especially because most of our guys also played for the Nations Cup. So that means that, well, we played the whole year round because also the Pro Series was in the summer. So yeah, well, I didn't have any summer vacation last year as well. So no winter break, no summer vacation. So yeah, well, and as most of you guys know already, like we started training again, and then we had the terrible news that Cringe won't be playing this year because of yeah, knee surgery he has to partake. So yeah, I'm still a little bummed out. So we're still getting into the mindset. Like Cringe and I have been playing for a long time together, so it feels kind of weird to start the first tournament without my right hand. But yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, and to be honest, Sonny, you guys will still rock on the field.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah, it's
it's
still
like
it's different. I can understand. Yeah,
like if you know the Saviors, like we train decently enough, but there are always like two guys or three guys that are always there, and that's Gray, that's Cringe, and that's me. Like us three, we're there every training, so it's really weird to suddenly don't have Ollie there.
yeah, definitely. And if I'm right, I heard Cringe, his surgery is just before the Pro Series.
Yeah, we agreed that he would well take a little bit of coaching off my hand this year, well,
Yeah.
especially on the tournaments. So I'm waiting to find out how that will feel for me because I never played under a coach before. So that's quite funny. But yeah, his surgery is on Wednesday.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be there Saturday, Sunday. So
Okay.
I told him, no, you're not gonna be there. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there with crutches. I don't care. I'm gonna be there. So that says a little thing about his mindset and how his drive to still be yeah, part of the team and support
Yeah.
the team. So we'll see. Of course, I hope he will be in better health as soon as possible. So that's the most important stuff. And yeah, well, if he's there to help us, then that would be awesome. But
Yeah.
like his recovery comes first.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, actually, the first time I saw the news of Cringe having his injury and needed his surgery, I didn't saw it actually as a bad thing because I know Cringe too. He has a great game sense and great mindset from the game. He's a real grinder, I'm gonna say, and he just not playing and having his whole mind on the playbook and coaching you guys would help you guys even way better. Because to be honest, in the whole Airsoft and NSL Pro Series, every team has a coach, but it's a coach player, and this is always different. It's you can't every time you are stepping on the field, you still need to make sure you know what you need to do, and yeah, you can't see everything while you're still playing. So yeah, it's a big loss, but I think you guys, Quench will do a good job of coaching this year. I'm very looking forward to it, and also for a Nations Cup. I'm not sure how long his recovery will be. Let's hope it all goes well, and let's hope he can play on Nations Cup. Otherwise, I think he will also be a coach again. So same again, it will also be a good thing. So
like on the earliest, he would play Pro 3, but that's highly unlikely. So I think on the earliest he will be there at Globals or next year.
Okay,
it's gonna be.
Okay, yeah. Prince, if you see this, I wish you a great rehab and yeah, stay humble, my man. You got this. Okay. Okay, with all this said, we're gonna jump into the first general info for the Pro Series 2025. As everyone knows, we had some changes in rules and etc. I'm going over some things and I want to touch your opinions about it. And I'm gonna start with the first one. The max of one transfer per season. Does it affect teams a lot or not? Do you think so? Zeus, what do you think?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, in some aspects of it, I guess, if you want to travel to different, parts of the world and play, like similar to probably what you did last year, right? If you wanted to go play in like the Western Conference and Eastern Conference, I mean, you can't even do that now because you're pro, but um, I mean, like I say, yes and no. At the end of the day, you're more than likely playing with one team, that you want to play for. And if you're going to transfer, I mean, you're just gonna go to one other team,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna leave your home, it's only to do better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of people do. So
Yeah, definitely. Sonny, what do you think about it?
Yeah, well, like I think the one transfer season is a decent rule. Like especially like that already means that let's see you play Pro 1, you do a transfer, so Pro 2 you're playing for a different team. Um, so if you have another one, that means that you're playing 3 pro events for 3 different teams. So that's just a little bit weird.
Yeah, definitely.
What I dislike a little bit is that apparently it's some kind of official transfer.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like a transfer means that you have played a tournament with a different team,
Yeah.
not that you announce that you go to a different team, because yeah, that's not really a transfer, in my opinion. Like if
Yeah.
you come up to a tournament, you play the tournament, that's transfer. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like if you trained with some other guys and you said, yeah, well, I'm probably going to join them, that's not a transfer. That's not how it works. Not yet, at least,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But yeah, that's just how I view it.
Mhm.
Secondly, I think that we need to check a little bit more where maybe challenger players are allowed to help pro teams, and that means like for a rookie year. So that means like let's say I play for a challenger team this year. Like if I go play for a challenger team and then play for a pro team, then it's yeah, well, it's Jaeger. He has won things. He's a pro player. That's unfair. Yeah, no doubt. I support that. But take like a player from Apex, for instance, that has never played a Pro Series before. And yeah, well, they're maybe ready to take a step, but not yet. I feel like there should be like a rookie season.
Yeah.
They're allowed to partake into different leagues, or maybe transfer a little bit more. It also keeps like the pro teams healthy to have rookies to try out
Mhm.
stuff without destroying challenger teams. I
Mhm.
think that should be fair. Like it's one season, it's a rookie season. You know what I mean?
It's like a test.
Exactly. Like I think there should be like a rookie season or something that eases in the transformation without being it so definite and stuff. Because let's be fair. Like if let's say I take a player and he's not ready for it, that means that his season is over. Because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let him play anymore. Maybe he's leaving us. He cannot go back to his challenger team. Like it's their path of development, their path of staying in this sport is being blocked by that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really up for a rookie season or something like that, where
Yeah.
players actually have the chance to make that step.
To be honest, with the NSL adding this rule, it doesn't allow players to go team shopping. It's called so switch from every team per event. So that's a good thing. But like you said, Sonny, it's a very good topic you said because still on the end of the road, if a rookie comes in, the only thing you can test him on 100% is in a tournament. And like you say, if you want to test him, like for example, let's say Pro Series 1, and you will test him, and then you can make sure, okay, this is what we're going to do. But if he's not ready yet, he can still go back. And this is now blocked by adding this rule. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. It needs some fine tuning, I will say.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Like as you said, like, and if it's like without team shopping, that's fine. That means that he's like in his rookie season, he can well, like choose one challenger and choose one pro team. Like that's
mhm,
fine. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Uh, but yeah, we have to like maybe have a little bit more room for players to partake.
Yeah, and
I say
develop
pro
in
pitch.
the yeah, to actually develop in their and on their own time and own way. And I like the thing. I'm searching for it. I heard something. Damn, I think I lost it. With the thing, once you make a transfer, so let me just say, with the last thing, Titi made a transfer from second to none to Hakai, but on the end, he still didn't play with us any tournament. So is the transfer real? You know what I mean? Like Zeus or Sonny, I don't remember yet. But once you make the transfer, you need to be on the roster for the event. Then the transfer is legit. If you are not on the roster, so let me just say TT is not playing Pro Series 1 because he's, for example, he's not ready, he still didn't make the real transfer. So it needs to be legit and not by adding just posting something on Instagram or Facebook or any platform, doesn't matter. Once you are on the roster, the transfer is completed, we would
Yeah,
say.
that's basically what I just said. Like
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. Like in TD's case, he transferred last year from Terra Knights to Second to None for the globals. So
Mhm.
that's a real transfer. And like for this year, yeah, well, he didn't make a transfer yet because he hasn't played yet.
No.
Like, well, maybe he'll be there in the black and gold or black and yellow in 3 weeks. You never
Who
know.
knows? Who knows? The transfer is still not legit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a good thing. The other topic I want to discuss was right now for the 2025 season, we are limited by 12 players per season in a roster. So, for example, let me just say you have a roster from 12 guys. Take the example from Cringe. Cringe needs an injury, a surgery, sorry. So he's out for the season. That means we can't take another one because our 12th spot was already taken. So we can't add a 13th man. We are limited by 12 players per roster per season. What's your opinion about this?
I mean, personally, I don't think that it's bad just to have 12. I think that's still a lot of people. I mean, even if you were to run two strings, um, I mean, think about it. There's only 5 guys on the field at once, and unless you have a team that's getting, just crazy penalties over and over and over again, that's the only, way that you'll lose out. Yeah, I mean, I think 12 is fine for sure.
No. Yeah, like I said, it's to be honest, 12 is fine. You have actually two 5-man layups, I will say, and then you still have two extras. So just let me say extras, bench sitters, and just need it when it's needed. But on the end, just for example, like let me say Sabers had the 12-man roster, Cringe fell out because he needs a surgery. That means they are back to 11. And let me say they need like the 12 men because they need to add the extra firepower, I would say. Then you can't do it because you're limited. But still, on the end, 11 guys is okay, but it's there are pros and cons to be
So
honest
for the whole
for me
So you're talking about for the whole season.
for the whole season for the whole
Oh,
season.
yeah, I didn't actually even realize that. I just thought it was capped at 12 people
Yeah.
total. I mean, in that case, that does make it a little rough. I mean, I would say that there would have to be some sort of like I don't know, like special situations, because in my opinion, I wouldn't fault the saviors for, Cringe having to go get surgery. And if, Cringe wanted to come back after, you know, then the Phil player should be able to leave off of there and then he come back. But I mean, in total, 12 players isn't bad. But if you're going to eliminate people from, natural stuff that happens in life, I think that might be a little too vicious of a consequence.
Yeah. Sonny, what is your opinion about it?
I don't understand the rule in all honesty. Like there's like no point. We have the rule where you're not allowed to transfer more than once, so that limited the transferring and the team hopping. But yeah, limiting the teams. Like at the end of the day, I think the Pro Series teams they're not about the players anymore. Like it's about the organization. It's about the captains, and I think like we last year when we went to a different Pro Series. Yeah, well, basically, it's my responsibility to get high quality players on the field. And if I come to every tournament with 12 different players, then that's the case for me. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's about continuation. It's about having teams there, having teams present, having high quality play, and yeah, this basically means that let's say you have a team of 12 and there is an internal struggle, and you divide exactly what it is. It's like a 6-6 divide, and what does it mean? Like
Yeah.
then you have to quit it. That's for that season. But well, if you get 2 or 3 players with the 6 that still are there, you still have a great season. So that I don't really get it. It's like the transfer one transfer season is more than enough. Like it feels a little bit like overcomplicating stuff
Yeah.
for like a worst case scenario, doom thinking. Um, like I like rules that has to be specific and rules that go deeper, and so it's clear and you know what situation you can apply it to. But in this case, yeah, feels like a little bit of overthinking
Yeah.
that part.
To be honest, I'm gonna implement another story, and it's about paintball. Not so long ago, I heard something about also there were some chaos in the paintball world with a player making the transfer to a team and then backing out, but the contract was in development, but still in the end he didn't play any event with them or didn't sign any contract. But on the end, let me just say, in a further stage of airsoft, I'm a player of Hakai, and just say I'm not the captain, not the owner. And let me say, Sonny wants to take me in the team, and he's a good organization. He can pay players, but I already made like one transfer to EC. And then Sonny comes up to me and he says like, Musha, I can get you on the team and you will get paid this amount of money. But I already made one transfer for the season. How can a league hold me down of making money? And I'm talking the further stage, but this is the complex rule you have. It needs fine-tuning. Like we need to go deeper into it. Because still in the end, nobody can say to me, Mushe, Jente, you can't go to the team because you already made one transfer, but on the other team I can make money. So that's a struggle we still is not for maybe in the next year or maybe 5 years. It's in a further stage of the whole airsoft world. So that's all the complex rules, what is coming with it. So it needs some fine tuning.
No, but
So
like the one transfer season, it also allows a team to set up certain contracts. Like that's the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? Like it's same with soccer. I'll say soccer for the American guys.
football.
But like you have like the winter transfer and you have the summer transfer. So that means that if a transfer is made, if a contract is made or whatever, they know they at least have it for half a season. Uh, so that also means the same for players, like from not hopping too much to different teams, just throwing money at it. Like there's a certain aspect to have teams with certain players and growing together. So I think that aspect has to be honored in some way. And yeah, at the end of the day, like I think if we're at the point where contracts are being made, then people will think twice before doing transfers left and right.
Yeah, definitely. So on the whole, it needs some fine tuning, and of course, the whole NSL league, all the organizations are growing in a better brand. Everyone is more going into branding their own organization. So yeah, it will come one day when you will join a team, and first you will need to sign a contract where you have all the rules. And where there's just strict rules, you can't go sideways, or just strict rules, no BS, and you know what you are dealing with. So okay. So
One thing, really quick, just to add on that, sorry. One thing that I think that a lot of these airsoft leagues should implement is something very similar to paintball. And they do the paintballplayers.org, right? And what that is you go in, you make a profile. So it'll have my whole history of, all these other leagues that you've played. And, just for situations like that, where it's like, now you start making players, divisional, right? Where, all right, all three of us are pro players, right? But, say that, for instance, you need to qualify to at least a, D1 player or something, or a semi-pro player in order to play pro. It would eliminate a lot of that backlash, that I think they're getting from players just kind of hopping on any team and playing.
Yeah, definitely. And still on the end about hopping players hopping teams. If, for example, we have a player in the whole scene, let me just say TT. TT went from Terra Knights to Second to None to Hakai. He's hopping teams. On the end, like as an organization, as a captain, and as a coach, I would prefer a player who is legit to a team instead of with one let me say, I'm gonna give you this, he is already going over to the next team. So
Right.
if if players are really going to team shopping, they will not get on good teams anymore, because they know they are not how need to say it, honored by the team, kind of. So they are
Not
they can't
committed
rely
to a
on
team, to a goal,
yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You can't
Yeah,
rely
like
on that
players
for a whole
pride.
season. So
Right.
yeah. Okay. So on the end, we have some new rules. They need to be some fine tuning on it. To be honest, I'm still waiting on the new rule book, because I know they gonna change some things. It's still 3 weeks out for the first Pro Series. So I hope it's coming fast. So if there are big changes, we can still adapt on it to prepare ourselves. So yeah. Next thing I want to go into is, with the new sponsorships of NSL, I saw some big companies joining the league, as Polestar, as Acetec, as Anthrax, also a big company in Europe more. How do you guys feel about it? Is it going the right way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that, eventually the pro players will be able to get compensation of some sort, right? Like, the FCC, they do it, and I think that's great what, Teo has kind of set for those players.
Yeah.
And, with going, like, I know that there's, great media and stuff that you get from NSL, but like, as a United States player, and I'm only limited now to play in Europe, for the Pro Series, that does cost me a lot of money. And regardless, I mean, I'm not going to speak for, every team or anything, but, in the experience that I've had in trying to get, compensation from, sponsors or stuff like that, I mean, for those of you that have been to Extreme Airsoft, I have everything here, except for, like an endless bank account to get all my guys to Europe, So that's
Yeah.
where like eventually I'd like for it to kind of, at least pay for itself so we can continue doing what we're doing. Because I know, at least for us, we've struggled in the past, and our roster shows it. And the days that not all of us show, and I hate letting the organization down. So
Yeah, definitely. It's still, we all have our personal life, and yeah, everyone has their own thing, and still it's an expense. It's an expense you need to give into the going over for you guys going over to Europe 3 times a year, 4 times, 5 times actually. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a big expense. So if you would have like some compensation from your sponsors or maybe from bigger organizations, it would be also it would be a nice thing. Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
So
for the year, it's probably like 10 grand, per person that we end up paying for that. It's like, the flights, the food, the Airbnb, the, rentals or trains or anything that we take, and
yeah,
even when we get back and shipping stuff over because we can't fly with our guns over to Europe, so it's like it definitely does become tough, needless to say. So
I can understand definitely. Sonny, well, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that personal life you just talked about because I have no idea what that is anymore.
Yeah, for some of us, it's becoming airsoft is our life, we would
Yeah,
say.
yeah. No,
So
but I completely understand where Zeus is coming from. Like, I think in general, it's good that a lot of companies are interested in NSL. I hope that we're able to help the organization provide for these sponsors.
mhm.
That means that they're happy. Well, their return of investment is worth it.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for any sponsorship and for any team that's watching this that has a team or is in a team or is looking for sponsorship. Like at the end of the day, it's uh, I don't not necessarily know how you say it in English, but it's it's a form of work at the end of the day, sponsorship. So that means
yeah,
that yeah, like we're not we're maybe the Ronaldos and Messis of our sport, but we're not the Ronaldo and Messis of the world. So that means that
yeah,
we don't have that much influence in the real world with what we're doing. So that means that what we do has to be really influential within the sport, within the community, within airsoft, paintball, and it is what it is. And that means that return of investment and the working together with a sponsor is really important.
yeah,
Like, okay, what do we do for you? What do you do for us? Uh, and yeah, that means that things have to be done, things have to be created. And I think a lot of sponsors are open for that. A lot of teams maybe uh, don't quite understand yet what it means, how much work it also is, and what's expected of you. But yeah, I hope in general that there will be some form of compensation in general. Like, I'm not, I think the European teams are decently addressed by the NSL. I think the teams most affected are the teams from the USA. Like, and that's something you have to think about. Like, are we interested in having like a European Pro Series and a US Pro Series?
yeah,
Do we want to have it combined? And if we have it combined and we agree that it's going to be in the Netherlands at the Ruursak Arena, then yeah, it, I don't mind that the organization gives a little bit more compensation to the US teams instead of us. Uh,
yeah,
I completely understand that. Like I can also understand they're not going to play 50 grand to each US team, but the support, or as little as it can be, that's something I would encourage a lot because at the end of the day, it's um, yeah, well, it's bringing our Pro Series to a higher level to do it like this.
No, definitely. And like you said, Sonny, right now, the Pro Series is combined by European teams and USA teams. Because, like I saw last year, Airsoft NSL in USA is and kind of rebuilt. They had a lot of teams. They left on some way, interested in other things, maybe personal life, having different goals in their life. And yeah, for right now, the Pro Series combined, it's nice. It's nice for Euro players to see US guys coming over, have a chat with them, come over to the arena and watch them play. Because, like I said already last year, the gameplay between USA and Europe is way different. It's way different, and we can both learn a lot from each other. But yeah, on one point we need to separate it again, just to lower the expenses and grow it even more, and have, yeah, like we have globals is the perfect perfect match event, where we can all combine because it's globals like World Cup. There it's who is the best of the world. But for Pro Series in the next coming years, it needs to go separate just to lower the cost and give the US teams the opportunity to really show them themselves in the US itself. So, but yeah, for this year it will be combined. We have 9 teams, and yeah, to be honest, Sonny, we saw it also here in Europe. We had a lot of teams, and a lot of teams are also left. It's becoming it's coming back on a slow way, but it's coming. And the only thing we as pro players, as pro teams, is only encourage all the new players, help them, and yeah, just tell them every time, just play as many as you can and be there and just evolve. And on one moment they will do the same for the new players, and it's a domino effect. Every time it's going farther and farther and farther. So let's hope in the future we will see the Pro Series US and the Pro Series in Europe, and then all come together for the globals. But yeah, for this year it's combined, and we can, yeah, it's a global tournament, we will say. So let's see what South Africa will bring for maybe next year. I'm not sure how that will go. They still have a lot to learn, but yeah, we will see. Okay.
Even just to elaborate on that, sorry, Mosh,
No, okay.
like even like if the 3 Pro Series events, right, were split up to where you had one in the US, you had one in the Netherlands, and you had one in like Spain, right? Or even South Africa, where us as pro players, we would each just go travel to different places, giving us the opportunity, to hang on to some of those funds, being, in whatever country we're in, right? But, I mean, because that's what they do. If you look at paintball, right, that's what they do. They go to different states in the US and they compete, and then, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be neat, instead of all of the tournaments being at just one arena, if they were spread out between different arenas. So, and then it gives the communities there an opportunity to meet pro players
Yeah.
from all over the world too,
Yeah.
and that's how it grows the sport faster.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing I did last year by going over to the West Coast and
Yeah.
guesting on a team, what I can't do anymore. I can, but on Cup Series, not on a tournament, B tier tournaments. But yeah, it's still in the end, it helps the teams and the people over there more if you come to an event where it really means something. If you are fighting for something, like for a ranking or something, not just a one weekend event. But yeah, that's just my opinion, right?
I,
I
I,
get
I
you.
find it, I find it a little bit hard still because like the concept of NSL is a lot different. Where you have like compared to NXL, for instance, you have a pro event, but there's also a semi-pro event. There's also a women pro event. There's also a second division, third division. So apart from the fact that the pros are playing there, it's also an event for a lot of people. There's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of games being played. So it also supports the fact that you're there and gonna watch different games. It also supports the fact that because of the immense amount of people that are at the event, that sponsors or shops will be there to display products. If you look at the NSL and even at Extreme and Reelstijk, yeah, we have people coming to watch, but it's not that many of people. Like I've been to the in France the NXL,
Yeah. The
like
Nations
European
Cup kind
Championship
of.
and the Nations Cup. Like I was amazed about how many people were there. Like even people that were just there for the weekend, not even playing paintball. Like
Yeah.
like it's paintball, so you can still get dirty, but by just being next to the nets. But they're there for the event,
Yeah.
Right.
and where if I look at the NSL and also like because it's in an arena, because it's pretty time consuming between games and stuff like that. It has a different feel and a different aspect to it. Like I do really like the paintball where you have a different layout for every tournament. Where 6 week
Yeah.
you get the layout and start doing it. Like it really it makes you grow as a player. But that's not what we're doing with NSL. Uh, so for me, the whole concept of having 3 tournaments at the same place uh, is feels actually nice because it's like we're having a real test of who is the best instead
Yeah.
of okay we're doing it once and now they're lucky or we're lucky like
Mhm.
Right.
because in paintball it's generally how it goes, so it's a different concept. So if you look at it expense wise, then yeah, it's unfair to certain teams. So that's why I also said earlier, like that's where the organization has to come in, where they compensate the teams that yeah well are making more costs for this concept.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
but yeah, the only thing is the only problem I have with it is what Sue said about yeah, it's nice to meet players and stuff like that, but it just feels like the concept of NSL is a little bit too hectic for it. Like we have to
Yeah.
play a lot of teams, we have to play a lot of games, we have downtime and stuff like that. Like NXL, it's like a 3 day event, not even 2. So
Yeah.
you already have your games spread out, and instead of having what is it 6, 7, 8 matches in the group phase, you're having 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So and that's
And
also
it's 20 teams, so
yeah.
it's a lot more.
Yeah, but it comes down to like the cost to play ratio. If you look at NSL, is better there for that. You know, you play more games, you play more time on the field, especially for the pro teams. And I think that's also a little bit of the issue that has to be addressed in challenger teams because yeah, they're already less compensated because they don't have the sponsorship as the pro teams do. So I think last year or maybe the year before, it really felt like that. Let's see, a challenger team from Spain comes over here and they play 40 minutes of playtime.
Yeah.
Like and yeah, it's just not enough. So I understand that they're like, yeah, well, I'm not coming all the way here to just have like 3 breakouts.
No, no,
Just get
definitely.
so there are a lot of issues, a lot of aspects that have to be addressed to get like a perfect fit. Um, but I think in general that we need maybe more leagues, like
Yeah.
more promoting, demoting, stuff like that, where you actually have like well the same kind of event as the pros. Like if you have a challenger with 10 teams and a pro with 10 teams, that means that the events are the same thing. It's just a different level.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you grow, then you can grow another series, and it also allows players from different leagues to support events in a different division. So that means that you can have like a whole pool of people that want to ref from different teams. Like if every team gives 3, 4 people to a ref pool, then you have 40 people that
Hmm.
can alternate and stuff and be at events. And yeah, it becomes more of a community thing than how it feels now.
No, no.
Uh, and it's maybe something we have to address as the pro teams together, maybe, and maybe take our more of a stand in it to help the organization at least.
No, definitely. And like the same thing as we can see for this year, if we check, I did accounting of all the events. And if I'm right, NSL is doing 41 events this year, spread over the whole world. So USA, East Coast, West Coast, Europe, and South Africa. It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's a
But I'm gonna just give me my personal opinion. For me personally, I'm more focused on the Pro Series. Why? Because that's my team. We are going for the title. We are willing to win the whole thing. That's the opinion. I think that's the goal of everyone in the Pro Series. But then still going to compete in all the cups and the C tier events and the 3v3s is difficult. It's very difficult and also expensive. Like yeah, pro teams are more focused on just the Pro Series instead of going over to be a C tier maybe once a year. That's okay, but yeah, on the end, we are already making a big expense for, and definitely for East Coast, are already making a big expense to play in Europe. And then with all the other events, it's yeah, it's also a big expense. So it's a lot, and it's not a bad thing. It's good that we have a lot of events, but we still need the enough people. I'm gonna say we are very limited by teams, by players that at one time they're always the same people. And okay, I know like this year with the cups we can go over to, let's say, extreme and play a cup series over there, but still on the end, what is there to win? What can we win over there? You know what I mean? It's okay, it's nice. It's all about the experience. I did it last year. I went 3 times to USA, 2 times guesting on the team. It's all the experience, and I can say it was, I had a very good time. I learned a lot. I met a lot of new people, and I'm a big community fan. I like to meet new people, but if we are going to a player aspect, players are there to win something. But what is there to win,
Right.
if
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's a good point you're saying, because it's also like what is there to gain for a sponsor to actually help us to get there. Like I'm happy to go to Extreme, to
Mm.
play a cup there with Saviors would be awesome. Like meet up with the guys. We had an awesome time in Rhode Island last time. But like from a sponsorship point of view, like there's nothing for him to be gained for us to go there apart from the content we make ourselves. Like the
Mhm.
event is not as big and highly advertised as the A tiers or the S tiers and stuff like that. So even if you like don't look at the what's there to win aspect, it's also hard to sell
Mhm. Yeah.
why you go there to a sponsor. So that means that all those events will always be completely yeah, from your own wallet. And like especially like as Sue said, like yeah, well we're already making like or spending like 10K a guy for the Pro Series and Globals this year. Okay, so they're definitely not going to a cup uh, in between. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you guys have this the thing that you call personal life. I know, still don't know what it is, but yeah, I understand. Like you want to maybe go with your family, with the kids, or whatever. Do something else. Buy a new car.
Yeah.
Buy a new hoodie because there are all holes in it from the. We have to do other stuff as well. So yeah,
Yeah. No,
what you're
definitely.
saying there, I understand. But at the end of the day, those cups should be motivation for new guys to show themselves to pro teams, to show themselves to challenger teams, uh, to try out, to have fun. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, it's back to what I said earlier. Like then the cost of the event has to uh, be enough playtime, be enough fun, enough experience, uh, where maybe even with penalties, like think I already told Vice one time or at one point, like for Cup Series and stuff like that. What's the biggest problem with NSL is that you need a big team because that's how the penalties work. If I get a first degree, I'm not playing. That's
Mm,
just how it works because that's how the ruling works at the moment. But if I go to a tournament and I can play with 5 guys and I get a penalty, there are only team penalties, you know what I mean? So my team can play for what, 4 breakouts with 2 or with 1. Fine. And
yeah.
after that, I'm back in. I was the idiot that got that first degree, so my team will definitely overshoot my ass after the match, but I'm still able to play again. So I'm
Mm,
able to go to the tournament with 5 guys. If I have to set up for a cup with 7, 8 guys because that's how the ruling works, then it's not really that attract. It doesn't attract new players to try it out and stuff like that. You,
yeah.
you you have to make a more entry level
Yeah.
with rulings like that.
And actually, that's a good topic you just said, Sonny, because NSL also and the 41 events I called is without the new format, the pools format for the beginners. There's still not so much out from it. I still remember the episode with Fives. I had to ask him what it was called because I couldn't read it. But yeah, it will be a beginner level format for NSL, where people can just jump in and get the first yeah, feeling of a whole NSL and how it's working. And yeah, because as a new beginner, it's very difficult to jump into NSL because the rules are very complex, but it's enjoyable if you know it. But for a beginner, it's very difficult to yeah, really understand the game and know how to play the game. So yeah, but we will see what the pools will bring for the new beginners and also for the Cup series. Like I said, for pro teams, it's less attractive. But that doesn't mean pro series captains, coaches, or players will not be there. Um, like whenever my fiance approves, I go over just if it's a challengers or it's a cup series, I go over and just watch one day and I met new people and sometimes I see potential in players. So it it's always a learning school over there. So for new and upcoming players, it's a good thing to go over to the cup series and play them and earn and achieve the experience. So yeah, that's one thing I want to say still. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's big things coming up. It's yeah, we will see what 2025 will bring. I have to say, 2024 was a nice year. It was a good year. Um, it completely changed the outcomes of every event. It was, of course, Saviors was very dominant, but still in the end, everyone had to fight for their for yeah the win in the end. So okay, with that said, I would say let's jump into the most attractive topic. That's about the new NSL layout. I'm gonna check if I can share the screen. And I want you guys to tell me what you think about the whole new layout. I will start
Uh,
with Zeus. You can say, what do you think?
Man, I mean, I'm sitting out on our field right now, and I mean, I know just from playing here, it's definitely harder to try to gauge what it's going to be like at real stripe. But I mean, the Dorito side is just so open.
Yeah.
There's like nothing there, you got no bunkers in the middle, and I mean, I understand the concept of trying to keep people low and fast moving games and stuff like that, and that's what this layout is going to bring. But I mean, I just don't understand. I feel like there's a, like the D2, right? It's like straight on. you know, or it's like sideways, so it's just a perfect triangle. And I feel like that should just be a flat facing Dorito at least, or something, or at least make it so then players can still move. Because even so, now go over to the conferences, or you know, the Cup Series, or you know, everything that's going to be happening, right? Besides pro. And
Yeah.
it's like you're eliminating, you know, new players being able to try to play the format also, in my opinion. But I've played it. It's fun. You know, I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy, you know, there's a lot of blind spots and stuff that I hope I can try to figure out while I'm in Real Strike in like 24 hours, you know?
Yeah, because from extreme to real strike, it's a big difference. And I saw the layout already in extreme on the story not so long ago. And funny thing is, last weekend we had a training session with Saviors, and I was talking to Sonny that my gun doesn't fit between the towers over there. So if I'm holding my gun like this, it doesn't fit. I can't go through. So actually, for me in Real Strike, there is no advance for me to play in the towers because I can't do anything. My gun is
Right.
too long. So, but
No,
I
no
saw
problem with the Jaeger build. So just saying.
But I saw an extreme like and I'm not sure. You have to tell me. The gap between the two towers is bigger, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're talking about like the four pillars?
Yeah, the four pillars.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of squeeze in there, you know, but I honestly don't know. I know that we usually try to just get all the specs and everything right from fives, you know,
Yeah.
with all of our bunkers and everything. But I mean, I know what you mean. I run a big tank myself, you know, like I run a big tank. I usually run a big gun, but um, yeah, I mean, you're definitely not running through that door sideways, that's for sure. You know, your
No.
gun needs to be straight on. You need to be looking straight, because if not, you're gonna clothesline yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Sonny, tell me, what do you think?
Do you have half an hour?
Yeah, I have.
Now, in all fairness, this is the worst field I ever played on. Um, yeah, it really feels like we gave some woodworks to a couple of children and let them play around, and this is what they created. This Quasimodo Frankenstein of a field. First of all, the D1 on this layout, it looks horizontal, but in real it's vertical.
Yeah,
So you have
yeah,
even less room. Like, and let's talk less about the layout, but more about how I should think a field should be approached. Like the biggest difference, which I already said earlier, between NXL and NSL is that we have a fixed layout. So that means that during the season, we're gonna fine tune what the meta is, what people
yeah,
will play, strategic options, what will be more fitted for some players, for some teams, and stuff like that. I think that's the strategic part about NSL is what makes it a lot more interesting and a lot better than just Speed QB or the paintball format or whatever.
yeah,
And what I feel with this field is that if you design anything in general, you have to have yeah, in Dutch you say kaders. You need to have guidelines,
yeah,
which,
definitely.
which you in those guidelines you have to make your design.
Yeah,
Like for me, that feels like that the NSL field has to be playable for new, for seasoned, and for pro players. It has to be playable for small, fast, but also bigger guys. Like I'm for the whole concept of being like a pro player, I have to be fast, I have to be fit. We can't be running there with our beer belly.
no, definitely not.
But that doesn't mean that if I want to start this game as a starting player or as a challenger player, that I also have to be that already. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it feels like if you're above 180 and you're above 80 kilos, that's 160 pounds for the US guys, or something like 180. you just I probably will not select you that much because all the starting bunkers are low. Like you have the back tree, like the back snake and the back Dorito, the feet. It's a low bunker.
Yeah.
Then you have the home. Yeah, well, that's
A
I'm
super small bunker.
I'm wider than that thing, so I'm like
Yeah.
already like shooting like this and doing this weird stance. Okay, then there's Dorito, which seems sideways, is not sideways. So
No.
if you're a little bit big, then you can't do anything there. Like so I feel that we missed these guidelines. So that's the first part. Like getting into position safely, getting people to actually start playing this game.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like I've trained against some bigger guys and they wanted to do D side. They for me they were running in slow motion and it was G2 every time of the break, like without even trying, not even with the tournament in, you know what I mean? So that's the first thing. Then secondly, like I dislike the whole concept of creating new bunkers every single time.
I
Like
agree.
it has to be something like we have enough options
Mhm.
and layouts can be tested. Like for me, it really felt like, okay, Globus is done. Here's new layout. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't we test it? We have time. You know what I mean? Get the pros' opinions. Let's co-create. It's something we have to enjoy the whole season together.
Mhm.
And now it really feels like okay, this is it. And well, if you don't like it, you don't understand it, or you know what I mean. Like it's gonna be like more an opinion based, two-sided kind of thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
either for or against it or whatever. Like I've heard people like from England, for instance. Yeah, well, we already don't really like the NSL concept, but we still want to compete because this is a high level competition.
Yeah.
But we dislike this layout so much that we're not going to bother. And yeah,
Mhm.
that's just a shame. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I truly understand you.
And then thirdly, like I think the pillars, but especially the readers with the holes in it, are gonna make uh controlling this game more challenging. Like the biggest problem in airsoft will always be reffing and hit management. Hit management can be taught, but reffing is also hard. And if you create so many blind spots, so many small gaps, where BBs being flown across the field are actually like similar to ricochets,
Yeah.
and uh, I just don't get it. I don't get if I shoot through the hole, then I can ricochet everything. How
Mhm.
are we gonna check if people are being hit? Like I don't understand why we have to make it harder.
No.
Like we're not playing paintball, so we don't see the guy being all yellow, being all orange. Uh, so yeah, in general, for me, it's simple or less is more actually,
Yeah.
uh, and you just see it in like let's look at gaming. Like we're at Counter Strike 2 at the moment. Before it was Counter Strike CS:GO,
Yeah.
but they've been there with 30 years with the same concept,
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah, it
It
works.
works. You know what I mean? They don't. They were like, okay, we thought about it a lot, and after 3 years, we come with little changes, and then the whole community is already, oh no, what did you do? But
Yeah.
yeah, it will. The basic is the same. I think a lot of guys play Fortnite nowadays, and I know I played the beta, and I know I quit it back then because every month there was some. The game was all totally
Yeah.
different. So I think we want to change too much. And I think like compared to last year, we learned a little bit of the fact that the snake was just boring, which I agree that it was just
Well,
it wasn't a snake.
it,
Like
it was not the snake we know like before. It was a typical ladder snake. You could push aggressively, um, but if you knew the snake out of your head, it was nice to play. To be honest.
yeah, but
Uh,
the snake, like one of the things I always like is being like the king of the snake. Like
mhm.
having that snake battle, that lower battle, that the battle that goes on without the rest of the game. Like
Yeah.
that's something that Speedsoft, Airsoft, NSL always brought. So I understand that we want to bring that back, and I think the snake without the pillars is actually a nice snake. I like
Yeah.
it.
It's a very nice snake.
Yeah, but the problem is mostly that there are not enough high bunkers or wider bunkers, and that like the pillars and the Doritos with the holes in it are just completely cutting off certain aspect of the game. Like the snake, it's like it's almost like we have two games. You have a Dorito game and you have a snake game.
Yeah.
Like if you win the snake, you're already in their snake, and suddenly it's like no one saw him coming. He just can crawl up. You can't counter him. You can't have like a cross. There's nothing. It's like
Mhm.
okay, I see my players going, running away. Okay, now we're doomed.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a lot of strategy there. So that's just. I feel like the field is in that case unbalanced. So if you look
Yeah.
at personal skill, if you look at holding crosses, having strategic options. Then if you want to have like a 33% of it all, maybe there are certain more aspects, but you know what I mean? But I feel like that that the crawling, the low game, the fast, high risk, high reward is just way too present in this field compared
Yeah.
to the strategic options and the crossing and the laning and all the options
Mhm.
that should be on the field as well.
I liked the thing you said about guidelines. Guidelines is a very big thing. And just for example, if NSL would have the guidelines like um, we use these bunkers, it's this height, you can only place this amount of bunkers on the field because if we check right now, the field is overcrowded with bunkers. So there is a big difference in last year and this year. To be honest, I played the new layout already a couple of times. Do I dislike it? No. Is it my favorite one? No. It's playable, but the strategic way, like Sonny said, is gone. It's what I noticed a lot is before you had like lanes you could hold from the home where people would go run through. And now the 50 is so crowded, all these gaps are closed. So you don't have that many gaps. People can go so easily to the 50 without getting noticed just because of the 50 that is overcrowded. The 50 line is completely crowded. Just for example, the wall you see between the Rito and the Plexi, does it need to be there? Like remove it and place the Dorito a little bit to the side and place the U next to it. Like open the field a little bit more up instead of adding there just another bunker. Just for example, if I would run with the flag, of course we know we can't jump over bunkers without touching. I tried it. I can easily jump over, and like Gray can easily jump over the wall on the plexi. But if you run through the Dorito and the plexi, or to the wall and to the Dorito and the wall, it's too small. It's too small. It's one of the things I noticed. The first is you don't have lanes to safely run through to have a flag hang. The only safe route you can take, in my opinion, is next to the plexi. There's the only safe route off through the middle, but the bunkers over there are also very small. And yeah, the only way you could get there if the snake is completely gone or the D side is completely gone. Otherwise, you never can get there because you will just get sprayed under by the two sides. There's no just no point of it to going straight to the center Doritos. There's no place of hiding. You have to be a very small guy to hide over there. And still on the end, you can't do anything over there. So in my opinion, it's too crowded. I like the snake very much. It's a real snake battle. You will see people playing it way different, playing it aggressive, playing it defensive. Yeah, in the beginning of Speed QB, I was a pistol player. I loved the snake. I'm feeling like back then in this snake, but still, you can get over the 50 so easily. You can get over the 50 so easily
No.
because nobody can shoot you going over the 50. The pillars are in the way. Just for example, let me say the two pillars, if we would remove them, that are next to the Dorito, there would be a line you could hold for crossing the 50. What it makes also more difficult to go over the 50. And it's all things like that. Like Sonny also said, we why don't we test it before? We have a Pro Series, we have all the experienced guys who are already in the scene for a long time. Why don't we let them test the field and let them help us? That's my opinion. Okay, still on the end, we know fives. We have to do it with this layout. We can talk about it for hours. It's like accept it and play on it. But the strategic way and playing tactical on this layout, I don't see it happening that much. And also the reffing point of it. For example, if you are in the small use, we call it back in Speed QB. Just in general, it's a general call, the use. If you are over the 50 in their U, and you're sitting there and the people are shooting on the Dorito, you can have a lot of ricochets on you, but who will tell it is a hit or it is not a hit?
That's very true. There's like a small gap where you can
Yeah.
hit guys, but also if you just hit the bunker, they also get hit because it's like a pinball machine. It's like a so and that's what I said about hit management. Like if I'm there and I get hit, normally I would know, okay, there are ricochets because no one can have a line on me. But because there's so many on these small gaps, then you actually can. So you can't distinguish ricochets and real hits anymore. What are you gonna do? So you're gonna avoid places like that. But it also means that a lot of players will not do that and will either get out or not take their hits. And then we all be like, yeah, they're cheating so much, blah blah. But it's actually unexperienced what's happening there. Like okay, and also we're not helping them make it easy for them. Like it's the hardest thing in airsoft, hit management. Like you like certain parts of the field, like we had at extreme. Like some part of the field you just get sprayed on so hard. I was like, is someone standing directly behind me shooting my back? Is that actually happening right now? No, it's just a ricochet from the bunker next to me. Like the V, it was like when I was at I think you call it the Vegas in the US, the Dorito at the Snake side. And where people were shooting at the home, there were just ricochets on my back all the time. I was like, no one can hit me. I tested it. I know it 100% for sure. And no ref was pulling me out as well. So yeah, that's the confirmation I have. But yeah, that's the experience you have to have. But if there's like a small gap where someone is doing that, but I'm also able to get hit, then I can't distinguish the Rico from the real hit anymore.
Yeah, and I like that you just said it. Even in extreme, when we went to globals, one of the first practices we had with Hakai, we noticed, of course, in extreme you have the pillars, the green pillars. It's not a bunker. They are just standing there. We can't get rid of them. It is there, so we have to play with it. But one of the things we noticed, and we didn't use it because, it's a dirty move. But once, let me say, you are on the farthest side, so it's difficult to say. But on the center Dorito, once you are on the center Dorito, you had a pillar next to you. And if you were on the D1, D2, and you were shooting to the pillar, or on the Dorito corner, you were shooting to the pillar and it directly ricocheted on the center Dorito. So actually you were shooting his back. So these are things that will happen this season too. Bounce balls. Okay, in paintball it's a thing, and airsoft it's not a thing, but still you need to figure out, is it a ricochet? Is it a hit? What is it? So that's one of the difficult things we will notice. And I already noticed, like on the new layout too, you have some bounce shots. So what we're gonna do about that? So it's a thing. So yeah, we will see.
One cool thing would have been if instead of the windows and the Doritos, if they put plexi in there, because I like
Mhm.
the plexi concept, on the Dorito side, right? But if the holes just had plexi and it was just a window that you could see through, then it brings back I feel like a little bit more of that strategy, right?
Yeah.
That Jaeger was just talking about, and I mean then you can kind of maneuver the field a little bit easier, but. Yeah, I agree with you guys for sure. I mean, it's hard. And I mean, you guys have been to Extreme, you know that Extreme's smaller than Real Strike, and I mean, just imagine playing this layout on Extreme, you know?
I don't understand how you guys get past the 50. Like I
It's
think
crazy.
like you either have to go through the snake or do the plexi because there's no room anywhere else.
Yeah, on this field, more than likely it's the snake player that is making the point, or by God's chance, someone gets to the plexi and can run the flag from there. But it's really hard, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we've been practicing it here, and I mean, I can kind of show you guys. You know, we've been practicing the layout here, and I mean, it is fun, but teams that know what they're doing, like I know the Pro Series guys. If you guys were here, you guys would give us such a run for our money, and a lot of the points would be so minimal that we'd be getting, on both sides, that it would just end up being a TDM and hope that you get a zone 1 or 2,
Yeah. Just
So
one last thing. For example, like we know, NSL is playing with the flag. You need to snatch the flag. Um, it will be difficult, I think, to find the flag.
yeah.
You can hide it on so many places that yeah, it will be very difficult and challenging to get the snatch overall. So on the end, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, Fives made it. The NSL, it's not only Fives. The NSL made it. They're not going to change it because yeah, once they dropped it, Sonny saw it too. The chat of the pro teams were spamming of the layout, and you need to change this, and this. Everyone had their opinion, but yeah, on the end, we have to deal with it, and we have to do it. So. Definitely, it will be a challenging year, but I think all cards are on the table and everyone can, yeah, grab one, to be honest. So it will be a very challenging year. So with that said, I think if you have anything else to add to the layout, you can. But I think we can go over the layout hours and hours and hours. So.
Yeah, I probably will.
So, okay. With that said, we're gonna end the topic about layout, and we're gonna jump over to the next topic, and it's about the teams. Okay, for the listeners and for the viewers, we're going over some pre-analyzing teams from the Pro Series. What will they say? We will go over every team. We will check the results of last year. We will check if anything changed, people leaving, people adding to the team, and what our personal predictions will be for the main season. So that's actually the concept of it. We will start with the team we missed on the last event, Globals. Wolves from Switzerland. I was very devastated they weren't there because they would definitely do a good job over there. But yeah, they had some things going in the team, people leaving, so they couldn't make a full roster. The results of Wolves last year, they get 1 gold on the second Pro Series. They ended up second overall. They weren't at globals. They are losing 3 guys: Serbs, Echo, and Nover. Serbs and Echo switched over to FCC. Nover is in rehab, I think. Will still play this year. I'm not sure. But they are adding some new players. Eddie, I couldn't find the team. He was on. Gundel from SON Challengers team, and Shadow from the Boys. Maybe people will know him from Nations Cup. He was playing for Germany. He was a very taller pistol player and a very dominant pistol player, in my opinion. For this season, they're gonna start with an 8-man roster. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Serbs and Echo leaving. They were their two main pistols, very dominant pistols. It's a big loss for them. But they added some new guys. To be honest, I think they are not going to be better, not at all. Are they going to be worse or the same? I'm not sure. Zeus, what do you think?
I mean, I think they still have their leader. You know, they
Yeah.
have Didi still, and Didi is by far one of my favorite players to watch. He really knows his stuff, and I think that his leadership and teaching his guys and how, you know, the team has played together. You know, I think that, you know, especially, you know, European teams, I feel like are so much more adaptable to, you know, when they're joining teams. You know, they're more seasoned, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think that he'll be good there for sure. I think they'll do all right. I mean, kind of, I look at the events in terms of like Pro 1, you know, I think that it's going to be a crapshoot between all of our teams, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you know, the Saviors will do great because they practice there consistently, right? I'm sure that you guys will do great too because you guys have also practiced there. The rest of the teams that haven't really practiced there that much will probably struggle a little bit more at the first event and then gain traction second and third, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the Wolves, especially like when I did the game analysis last year for Nations Cup and watching the Germany team, the player that was making the plays was Didi, you know, and he's their Hercules and, you know, also, you know,
Yeah.
Achilles heel on that team as well, because if you kill Didi out quick, you know, now they have to kind of regroup and figure out what they're going to do, you know?
Mhm.
So I think they'll still do really good. You know, they're just
Yeah.
going to have some learning pains to kind of go through and kind of feel the team out again, you know?
Yeah. Sonny, what are your predictions for Wolves?
Oh, well, like the thing is, like, I'm not sure, like, having a lot of time on this particular field and layout is the best. At the end of the day, Wolves has always been a team that grinds
Yeah.
and grinds and grinds and grinds. That's something I respect about Didi. With that thing, we're a little bit like-minded. We train a lot, we play a lot. I think he has as many as big of a personal life as I have. To come back to that story, no, but like seriously, like they train a lot, so they know what it means. They give it them their all. Uh, so yeah, will they have the same synergy at the beginning of the season of last year? No, but yeah. Uh, they're adaptable. They'll keep grinding. They'll keep their heads down, and they always have this underdog kind of vibe where they well slid through the rankings while the rest of us are well fighting over the big bone. They're like, well, we'll get the other big one, a little bit smaller, but that one is ours, and they usually take it as well. So yeah, that's what it's always like. We're now no one's ever like, oh fuck, we're gonna play Wolves, and then they're oh, Wolves won again. What? They're
Yeah.
always the underdog, and that's a position they do very well in. And yeah, they're consistent. They have been. So I as you said, I think Didi will keep his team consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, Didi will definitely be the anchor point of the team. Like Zeus said, if you get, I will not say kill, if you eliminate Didi, you really see the difference on the field. Yeah, I would say they are not going to be worse. They're going to be on the same level, like last year. Like Sonny also said, they'll always be the underdogs. You never know what to expect from them. Of course, we all know Wolves is Didi itself is more kind of defensive, more type of gameplay, but on the end, you once he has the opportunity, he will take it. He never takes a second chance, no, a second thought. So yeah, Wolves definitely looking forward to see them. For the next one, we are going to the new team going into the Pro Series, Delta Speed Division. They were they are the winners of Challenger Series in Europe. They got 2 times gold, 1 times fourth place, and they ended up on the 8th spot on globals. Nothing changed to the roster. It stays the same, and they will have a 10-man roster. Yeah, Zeus again. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, DSD, we played them in globals, and we lost to ourselves against them when Matt ran down the field and tried to clean them out. Little fucker. I wanted to beat his ass, dude. Not kidding. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear on here, but um but
You're
yeah, I
almost.
mean, they're solid shooters, man. And they understand the game, and I think that their performance, regardless of where they finished in globals, their performance throughout their season at the Challengers kind of speaks for themselves, right? Um, I like to watch the Challengers games just because it gives me another outlook. I've played, the conference series here. I've played against other U.S. players, so it's interesting to see what that lower division is doing, and I think that a lot of those teams are capable of probably competing at a pro level. Um, but DSD really seems like they have their stuff kind of together,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to be a wild card this year because they also play at Real Strike pretty frequent, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that they're going to be solid shooters out there. A lot of great guys too. So
Yeah. Sonny, your fellow Netherlands.
Yeah, DSD. What to say? Like, they did well in Challenger Series. They're well motivated. They have a good organization after behind them. Um, I think they in the bigger picture they lack experience. Um, their roster also contains a lot of big players, which are not uh, like they're not the if you look at these the challengers last year or look at the globals, you're not like, oh wow, they have those really fast guys, you know what I mean, or the small guys.
Yeah.
They just have decent players that were well adapted to the format, uh, and this format yeah, will bring them challenges. Like, I'm pretty sure they realize that, so they'll be training hard for that as well. So it's up to them to prove themselves for it. I think they're well motivated for it. But the thing with the experience is that they will walk against walls now in their own
Yeah.
capabilities, in their team setting, and it's up to them how they respond to it. Like, will get the better of them, or will it provide that path of progress, of development, because that's what it usually is with hitting against those walls in NSL speeds over any sport in general. Like, some point you can only get so far by competing or by training or whatever in the league you're in, and if you're suddenly against a new league, then it can be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Uh, and how they adapt to that will determine how their season will go.
No. Yeah, DSD. We played them the first match of globals. Yeah, they're a good legit team. Like Sonny also said, they will learn some lessons this year. They have some pretty tall and big guys in the team. Um, but they are grinding. They are grinding hard. I think they are always one time a week. At real strike, I'm not sure if it's the full roster, but on the end, there are some individuals training and getting the play time and yeah, just the time on the field. Yeah, no, I think they will do a good job this year. It's just how fast can they adapt and can they get their heads cool? Because that's the reason they lost that one Challenger Series where they ended up on the fourth spot just by lack of concentration, I will say. The other team was getting into their heads and they completely lost it. So, yeah, definitely a team to look out for. And yeah, they there are no expectations for them. They can do good, they can do bad, but they are the new guy on the new team on the Pro Series, so they have all cards they can take. So, okay, next one. CKB Bros. They had one fourth place in the Pro Series, seventh place overall, so last place in Pro Series, ninth place, last place at Globals. They are losing Yahoo, Bolea, and one more, but Vinny didn't know the name. Then they are adding three new guys, Guille, Adri, and Molina. They have a roster of 12 men for 2025. But for the first Pro Series, they will have a lack of players. They will be there, but not with the full roster. So it's a bad start. They didn't. Of course, they are from Spain. They never trained or played on the field. So yeah, tell me, Zeus, tell me the odds.
Uh, I think that, CQ Bros they'll probably hold their own against the newer teams because you have, DSD and you have Murder Inc. as well, that are starting in the Pro Series this year. And um, I mean, they're always a little bit of a wild card, like when we play them, we can tell at a certain point where it's like, all right, we have to be really strategic against these guys. Um, because I mean, all the pro players are good players, it's just on how things are executed. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely losing players on a team is hard. I know when they lost Yago, right? That was a big one for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like any team, and especially this layout, I think if this was like a normal layout where you have a lot of rifle, dominance, and I mean, just because of how fast paced it's going to be kind of a crapshoot, I think, So I think that they'll probably contend somewhere in the middle of the pack, if I had to assume. Um, but I mean, who knows? We'll see. It really all depends on how they do in a layout like this.
Yeah. Okay. Sonny, tell me, what do you think about CKB Bros?
Uh, one of the things I always tell Vinny after each game, you guys are your own worst enemies. Like, I've seen them play NSL in a way that was like, God damn, these guys are gonna take home gold. And then suddenly it's first degree, a lot of yelling in Spanish, uh, hang, snatch, hang against them, more yelling, another first degree. And like, guys, what the fuck just happened? Like
Yeah.
you guys had it. You had them by the balls, and all you had to do is squeeze a little bit more, and like it just falls apart. And uh, so yeah, that's something that I think Akuma and uh, Harold are still the captain and coaches
Yeah,
with me together. That's
yeah,
something they have to get their grip on, like uh, because they're usually pretty well also in like trying out new stuff. Like uh, so yeah, last year was well, senior results a shit show, but there was not a display of their strength. Uh, So yeah, with the new players, I don't know any of them, so I can't say yeah. Well, they're willed in they're reeled in a whale or something or not. I don't know. But yeah, I think if they start to get more composed, they start getting more results.
yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for them. And that's something I uh, do hope for them, seeing they have been here for a lot of years, like also with Speed Bones things, always coming to the Netherlands and always bringing a good time. And they're really been like one of the OGs.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's they should start getting more serious, like get more composed and start showing everyone what they're made of.
No. Yes, CKB Bros. Yahoo leaving. He was a big playmaker. On the end, also a hi hat. I'm gonna say, getting angry very fast. Um, and I think it's kind of the Spanish mentality because majority of the guys are all the same. But Yahoo leaving doesn't make them any worse because I'm gonna be honest, they still have some pretty good pistol runners who are willing to take the opportunity. But yeah, like yeah, so at some moment they take so many penalties, and once the penalties are falling, they are yeah effing everything up and getting yeah the focus is gone. So yeah, they need to get more strict with the team, get how I need to say it, focus more on the job, get more serious, and the results will come from itself. So I would say they are kind of the same like last year. So yeah. Then we're going over to the next one. Saviors. Two times gold, one time bronze in Pro Series. Overall Pro Series winner. Sixth place at Globals. Losing Nosy for retirement. Cringe who needs surgery, so he's out for the season. Adding one new player, a paintball player, Ruben. A nine-man roster. So yeah. Zeus, you can tell me first.
These fucking guys, man. You know, the saviors, bro. Shit. You know, listen, I love you guys, but I'm coming for that ass. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys are ready because I'm not. You know. But no, I think that you guys will more than likely do, you know, what you guys always do. And you guys will exceed very well. You know, Saviors always kicks ass. It's crazy. Um, yeah, I mean, one thing I feel like you guys have really improved on, you know, when the game isn't going in your favor and you know trying to regroup to try to push back out to finish a game well, you know. Um, like I've seen it in Nations Cup. Um, you know, I watched the second Pro Series as well. Well, not the second, the third one, right? Is that the one that ECU got second, right?
Yeah.
Um, and even globals, you know, like there's little things, but you guys are like, in my opinion, the most well-oiled machine out on the field, right? You guys do the exact same thing. Well, not necessarily the exact same thing, but you guys have a very particular pattern on how you guys do things. And I see it when you guys run to bunkers and you have it very mapped out very well. I think you guys got some cheat codes out there or something. I want some of that, all right? But no, you guys are very dominant and definitely one of the teams that I look forward to playing. I mean, I know that ECE, us as a whole, we actually haven't beat you guys yet. So that is one thing that I do look forward to. That is a goal of mine. You guys are, the team that I want to beat for sure, regardless of whatever stage it's in, whether it's group stage or finals, whatever it is. You guys are always our kryptonite. So
Okay.
I think you guys will do well, man. But fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Sonny, tell me, what do you think about your own team?
Yeah, well, uh, I think I'm the most humble person to ask these questions before because I always have like a certain preparation I want to do. I want to have meet certain goals and stuff like that. And I think last year at the beginning of the season, some of those goals were met. I feel this year were uh, they're a little harder. I think because of the format. I think because of the roster changes. Because of the longer break. And like I'm confident in my team. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like as Zeus said, like we're well organized. We're well oiled together, and that's something that really gets me going. I really had this. I was like the first training, I was like, "Ah, here we go again," and then we were like 1.5 hours in. And I was like, oh fuck, it's only 2.5 more hours. I want to play more. I'm like, and that's our strength. I think because we have a steady roster, we train regularly, we have a lot of fun together as well. That it gets this fire going. You know what I mean? And even with Cringe not being there, we still have experienced and good players. Uh, the only downside is, and like Zeus portrayed it perfectly, everyone's out to get us. Uh, so that's a certain pressure you get. Uh, um, uh, I'm happy we are learning because I think it's still a learning curve to get back into a game which is not going our way because like last season, especially during globals, but also like during Nations Cup till the final, even in the final before we lost it all, everything went so smoothly. And if everything goes too smoothly, then you lose the hair on your balls and the hair on your teeth. Like
Complacency, yeah.
yeah, like the best swords are forced in fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where we came from, and that's how we got where we are now. But yes, we need that fire. So best case scenario for us is that most games are not going to go our way because then we'll probably get through the first Pro Series as the most scariest team there is because then there will light a fire in us that's
No.
it's like a truck full of gasoline that's just ready to explode then.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's just how it works, and you see that with a lot of teams. And I think Hakai has the same thing. Like in globals, like at some point you just saw the fruits of everything you guys been through. And yeah, you have ups and downs in the season. That's what it is. But yeah, I'm happy with our roster. I'm happy with our guys, and I'm confident for the next tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, Savers. I'm gonna say same like last year. You guys are every time you step on the field, you guys are the most humble guys out there. Just the way you guys are playing with each other goes so fluidly. Communication, organization, everything. Okay, you are losing two guys. One is definitely losing. Nosy is going for retirement. Cringe with injury, but on the end, like I said in the beginning, I don't see it as a downgrade. I see it as an upgrade because it takes off some tasks of Sonny what can cringe take over. And having a coach who can stay composed, stay calm, stay focused, without getting the frustration on the field will help you guys in a good way. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to play against you guys and seeing you guys play because I think there will be some heavy, heavy games. And yeah, I saw you guys playing last weekend. Yeah, I see great things coming out of you guys and the roster. So, and also with the new guy adding, it's brand new for him. But I see him fit in with you guys. He's similar. Yeah, it's the right fit. I'm just gonna say it like that. It's a good fit. So yeah. Okay. Next one. Yeah, it's my own team. Hakai. 2 times bronze, 5th place overall in Pro Series, 5th place on Globals, losing Dewale, Lea, Dropbox, Hulk, Vava, and Jesse, adding Mouse, Connor from Limber Shotgun, Robbe from Seven Sins, Titi from Second to None / Terra Knights, and we will have 2 guests this year, Andrew and Menzies from OB UK. 12-man roster. Yeah, Zeus, you can go.
Man, did you say you're losing 5 guys? 4
6
guys?
guys. We are losing 6 guys. But we are, yeah, I added 6 guys. So
Okay. Shit, Moosh, man. Listen, all I know is I'm gonna see a lot of this out there and a lot of, like it's gonna happen, we Musha hut. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, bro. You guys are a good team. I think you're a great leader, and I've seen what you've done when you played with like DSD. I mean, not DSD, DVS, right? So you played with DVS, and you really held that team together, man. So I think that as long as you're coaching your guys in the right way, which I'm sure that you are, you guys will be a top contending team for sure. It all just depends on how you guys have been practicing. You're definitely a wild card because you have a lot of new players for sure.
yeah. Yeah, Sonny.
Yeah, I was wondering, the OB will not be playing challengers?
OB will not be playing challengers because they have a complete rebuild. So what happened is they wanted to attend the Challenger Series, but they couldn't because they only had a roster of 5 or 6 guys, what is very difficult to play in NSL. So after actually the last Challenger Series, I talked with the guys of OB. Actually, we would had Andrew for globals, but on some way he booked the wrong weekend, so he couldn't be there. Yeah, funny story. It's crazy. He saw the video. He saw the video of NSL posting Hakai will be on globals. 5 minutes after the video, he texted me. He said to me, "Yo, Mushe, I booked the wrong weekend. Just saw the dates." I said to him, like, "Bro, are you for real?" So yeah, no, OB will not be playing this year, but OB will be guesting on some teams, and Andrew and Menzies will be guesting on Hakai.
Okay.
So
Yeah, well, we skirmished 2 days ago. Like, you guys are still like solid. Like, you have Marshall. Like, Marshall is insanely well-oiled machine, still young, still willing to drive. Well, you have yourself, which is still on the team. I think the additions are nice. Like, you basically get OB. The like Robbe, the 2 OB guys, and they really did well in Challenger Series. Always also playing a little bit similar as you guys. So yeah, you probably still need to find your way, but I don't see it really as a downside. I also think like Hakai last year, like the players you mentioned that are quitting, apart from the Hulk, were not really that active anyways. Or maybe Alpha, maybe.
the Wale Baptiste, as you know him, Lea and Michiel. Lea and Baptiste were more into it than Drobox, Michiel, and yeah, of course, Vava and Jesse. So
Yeah, and yes, you're missing Jesse. Yeah, that's what you get TT back for that.
yeah,
So yeah, I think in general you guys have a good roster. A lot of small guys as well. You were really like, okay, are you the right height at the at the theme park? Like, okay, you're not allowed to go in the attraction. Okay, come play for us. Like all the guys that were in attractions were not allowed in Akai. Like, I think that's a good mix, and yeah, you got the experienced players, and that's I think that's important. Like we seen you Sunday, and it was looking good. So you guys will do good this year. I think what you probably have the same momentum you had as globals.
yeah.
So
Yeah, to be honest, we are losing 6 guys. Hulk was one of our main flag runners. He wasn't at globals. We changed already in the last Pro Series, and we found a way of doing it. It was with Fava, but Fava also left because he switched to FCC. Still very excited for him. And Jesse, of course, sadly enough, he took a different path. We have some new guys, young guys. I think right now the age of Hakai is between the 20 and 25. It's not so much older. So we have a very young team. Maybe the oldest one is 26. I'm not sure. So yeah, no, we are very humble. We are training a lot. We have a big roster. This weekend will be the first time we were gonna play with Andrew and Menzies. They are coming over for a trainings weekend, so it's the first time playing with them. Yeah, if we can keep our heads straight and just play like we did on globals, but just do the fine tuning, we can have a great season. So yeah, we still gonna give everyone a hard time. It's just, can we fight harder against ourselves? So I'm just gonna say we're gonna be the same, not better or worse. Yeah, it's gonna be a good year. Next one is Murder Inc. New team in Pro Series. 2 times silver, 1 times gold in the East Conference. 6th overall in the East Conference. Very dominant, like East Coast Energy in the East Conference. 6th place at US Championships. Last place. 4th place at Globals. Home field helped them a lot. I don't see any changes. I didn't get the roster completely. It's kind of the same. Maybe Zeus, if you know something, people leaving or people adding, yeah, you can go.
Yeah. So I know that they're doing a like conference team as well. That's called Red Room, but they just added a player back. His name's Marcus. He goes by King Kong out there.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So he's back now, which is awesome. He just underwent he did crazy training and lost like a shit ton of weight. Dude looks crazy right now.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Real King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, definitely. Bandit is still on the team. He really runs their Dorito side. Matty Ice, very dominant. He was in Nations Cup as well in USA. K Pasa, Lou. I mean, their team is pretty much the same, with just the exception of getting that one player back. Overall, I mean, they're great shooters, so I know it's going to be a lot for that team to adapt while they're out at the first Pro Series. They just, really got to just train and practice while they're out there. And if they don't do well, hopefully they take the first event as a practice, to try to get their momentum, because a lot of those guys haven't played out there. And that's one thing that all of our, all the other pro team players have as an advantage, right? Is that we've all played at Real Strike once. So, it will be really interesting to see how they do. But overall, I mean, their gun skills, I will say, I think is much better than ECE. You know, I think they're better shooters. They just need to progress in that movement and adapt to how big the field is at Real Strike Arena. So,
Yeah. Okay. Sonny, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, well, I don't really know them that well. They seemed like a really defensive team when we played against them. We obviously lost against them. Not really getting into that. So, but apart from the fact that we have a bone to pick, uh, yeah, think they're one of the underdogs for now. Like they want to prove themselves. They're making the big step to the pro, same as Delta. Uh, think their biggest. I think they didn't do that well on the group stage actually at globals.
Mm,
Uh,
I'm not sure actually.
I
I
think
have
no,
to check
well, we had 9 teams, right? So we
9 teams.
second we played against them, so that means they're seventh, just
Yeah,
behind uh,
CPB
B
Bros.
Bros and second to none. Uh, so yeah, like the adjustment to the bigger teams to make it consistently. That's probably their biggest goal for the first event, and just try to get as far as they can.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then the the luck they have is that they're fairly new, at least for the European teams. So that means that, well, most teams will tread them with caution because they don't know what to expect. But it's also going to be their biggest challenge because at Pro 2, that means that everyone will have a lot of footage of them and
Mhm.
will start picking up on them. So yeah, that's how you're gonna have to establish in the Pro Series, and that's the thing that they're going through right now. I mean, for apart from that, next to the team, they're already a nice and a fun team, so it's nice to have them at the Pro Series at least.
Yeah. Yeah, Murdering. I saw them at US Championships. Was a big difference on globals. When I saw them on US Championships, I didn't had any faith for them. They were not in their momentum. Globals was a lot better. Of course, you have the advantage of being on your home field, knowing all the angles. Overall, Murdering very defensive team, having some heavy shooters like yeah, Kepasa, Mary Ice, Beard, a very heavy shooter, Bandit and Chase, two small guys who are very fast. Still, this small guy, Bandit, I don't understand how he does it, but this guy we couldn't kill him, couldn't eliminate him off break because he was so fast. No, yeah, it will be a difference going over to the Pro Series, playing on Real Strike. I think it will just be how good can they adjust themselves and give some offensive kind of play style instead of being defensive, like we say in Dutch. Peppering, putting some pepper upside in your ass, so you are running some faster. No, but after all, they're gonna be an underdog, a team to look out for. They are not scared to come in your face and get you out. So yeah, a team to look out for. Um, Next one, second to none. One silver on the first event, fourth overall, third at globals. Losing all their UK guys, McSwain, Chappe, Alex, and Cas. Losing Titi. Adding Hyper, Yessi, and I think Dakota is also playing. I'm not sure. It was kind of something if he's old enough or not. So that means a 12-man roster. Yeah, Zeus, talk to me.
I mean, they are pretty much a new team now, you know. I think that they got very lucky in globals and the way that they finished, in my opinion. Um, I like, a lot of the guys that they have on their team, you can tell that they've all played, competitive before, right? I mean, they're all from different teams and stuff like that. But I mean, from my understanding, they've been practicing a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold their own, out in the field. But um, I mean, let's see if they live up to that name.
Yeah.
I really don't know a whole lot about that team except for at globals. So I don't really
Okay.
know what the outcome will be personally.
Okay. Sonny, you have some more experience with them.
Yeah, I do. Firstly, I do agree with Zeus. Like, I think the whole globals concept was a little bit weird. Getting like you can get lost in the pool and still get back. But yeah, at the end of the day, they did do it. But uh, um, yeah, it feels a little bit, still feels a little bit weird that there were not no teams excluded from the final stage because of group stage. Uh, little bit of mindset basically could have mean that like 2 days you can party hardy and then Sunday you're suddenly ready to go.
Yeah.
While all the teams are giving the respect of actually going, giving them all. Uh, yeah, so I agree with Zeus on that part. In general, from the players that we have experienced players on the team. Um, I do say they grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. Um, I think they train at least one times a week, starting the week after globals. So like they have probably the most hours on the field from all teams together. Uh, so that can be a good thing for them. That can be a bad thing for them. They have some solid players, but yeah, getting that well-oiled machine going in a new team with players that maybe are not that accustomed to each other yet. Um, yeah, at the end of the day, that they have that name which they want to live up to. So I think their biggest battle will be against themselves.
No, definitely. Yeah, second to none. They had a very good first event, and then it's slow up, just went down and down and down. They tried but couldn't make it. At globals, yeah, I will not spill my words anymore about globals. It is what it is. They give us a hard fight. We had opportunities we didn't took. Yeah, people leaving. People adding Hyper, Jesse, and yeah, Dakota. I think, in my opinion, you have a lot of personalities in the team. It will all come down. Can they work together? Like Sonny said, they grind a lot. But I'm always the guy. You need to grind on the right way to make it happen, of course. But they have some heavy shooters. They have people from experience. But like I said, I think, in my opinion, it will all come down to all the personalities together and making it work. As also, they need to live up to their name. They have a big name to carry the whole season. So yeah, we will see what will happen. If we check the odds, I will say they are the only team who get better right now with all the teams you already had. They are adding some good guys. So yeah, we will see what will happen. They improved, so we will see. Next one is Terra Knights. Terra Knights, 1 silver and 1 fourth spot. Third overall, second at globals. Major loss. TT leaving, Hyper leaving, Fatal leaving, Pyro leaving, Loli leaving, Max leaving. Only actually 3 players left: Tsipa, Youngwon, and Firepants. They're adding 2 guys from Seven Sins, Yanis and Branne, 2 guys from The Boys, Tas and Flash. One new one, Captain Sako, and one guest of OB Brad. They have a 9-man roster. So yeah, Zeus, talk to me.
Man, Terror Knights, I feel like just can't catch a break, you know. I mean, Sipa is such a great guy, and you know, Young One, Fire Pants, they're great too. But man, I think they're like the only ones that I'm kind of nervous for them and what they have, you know, coming together. Because they have lost a lot of their core people, you know. I mean, like I said before, it just all depends on what the training looks like and how fast they can get that synergy together, you know. Um, if not, I mean, I'm hopeful that they have been practicing and everything, but I've seen a lot of it all over, you know, social media and guys leaving and stuff. So I just want to see what kind of happens with them. And I think the first event for them is going to be a struggle, but then from there on, I think that they're going to kind of figure something out and kind of be pretty steady to where they were last year, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Terror Knights is always kind of the underdog and always slips through, yeah, all the other teams. So, Sonny, tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Zeus as well. Like Sipa is such a great guy, and he can catch a break really. Been working on the team for a long time. I think last year was fruitful for him. I think losing Fatal
Yeah,
is really big. Pyro also a good player, but Fatal, yeah, my opinion was really the backbone of that team. He really well composed, smart player. I really always really respected Fatal for that. Um, for the team, yeah, they'll have some trouble this year. Like you said, Fire Pants were still on it. Like I saw some recent news that
yeah,
he and a young one, yeah, apparently
broke up.
not a thing anymore. Like, well, we all know how love goes, so might be back together in 2 weeks. So I'm not gonna have an opinion on that, but it will affect the team or affect her if she's still gonna be on the team. Like young one will be there, that's obvious.
Mhm.
Um, like young one is a good pistol player, is a well experienced pistol player, and this field is yeah well made for people like him. So that's the advantage they have. Um, but yeah, I think they will have gonna have some struggles at the first event. But it can also be like a good thing because if you go at the first event like okay, well, we don't expect anything, then sometimes you play a lot better, especially
Yeah,
on such a challenging format. Like wanting to perform can sometimes also be your downside. So maybe they'll just be the team that has the most fun and has the most plays because of it. You
yeah,
never know.
no,
So
definitely.
this is a layout that allows that. So it might be in their favor actually. Um, so yeah, I hope for Tsipa that they can bring a fight to a lot of teams. That's
Yeah.
something I think he deserves.
Yeah, Terror Knights, like I said, major loss of the whole team. They had a good established team last year, actually for the last 2 years. Um, yeah, Tsipa is already going a long time with the Terror Knights. Still make it happen to keep it alive. They are adding two guys from Seven Sins, Yannis and Branne. Branne is one of the guys who played on Belgium. He played an amazing event. He did an incredible job. He's a good pistol player, a small pistol player. Yannis also, the two guys from the boys, not so familiar with them. Two rifle players. The only one I know kind of is Flash. I call him the German McSwain, just by the way he's playing. And he also plays with an RP9, so yeah, that's typically McSwain. They have a brand new guy, not familiar with him, and yeah, then Brad from the UK from OB, very dominant pistol player, good flag carrier, knows the game well. Once he see the opportunity, he will take it. It will be challenging year for them. Like, yeah, I agree with Sonny. Some things are in their favor. They have some small guys. Young one will love this field. I didn't know actually. They did train already a lot of times. I don't think so. But yeah, I can definitely agree with Sonny what you said. They have the least pressure, I'm gonna say, because they are the team with the greatest loss, I'm gonna say. So they are coming out worse out of last year, but they don't have that much pressure because everyone is thinking Terror Knights will be easy peasy, but still a team to look out for. Tsipa has a good way of playing. I coached, I did Nations Cup with him together. He has some good tricks. So yeah, looking forward to see them play this year. Will be challenging. And yeah, then the last one with the longest titles, I will say. 2 times gold, 1 time silver in East Conference, 1 time fourth, 1 time silver in the Pro Series, sixth overall winner of East Conference. Second US Championships, Globals Championships, East Coast Energy. Guys, what is happening? Damn, my phone was turning music on. Sorry. um, East Coast Energy. Yeah, Zeus, talk to me. Any changes?
Oh man. We haven't really changed our roster that much. We did split. We have 2 teams now. So we have Rhode Island Synergy. You'll see them out here in the US, in East Coast Energy. It is kind of tough us splitting our roster the way that we did, but I think we're going into it with 8 guys, I think. So we have myself, we have Tristan, we have TJ, we have James, which is Hollywood, Kodak, Cuoco, my little brother, Peso, and then we have a new player. His name is Mark. Used to play paintball, stuff like that. So pretty solid rifleman. I mean, for us, I really think that as long as we can all come together, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to make it for the first event, as you know, life kind of calls for different struggles here and there, right?
Excuses.
Yeah, oh yeah, here we go, eh? But I am pretty hopeful that my team can kind of just not defeat themselves, because at the end of the day, we are our own worst enemy. You know, once we start bickering or anything like that, it kind of it becomes difficult out in the field, you know, as is anything. So I'd like to humbly say that I don't think that we will win first event, but I do think that it would be a very good learning curve for the field and trying to understand, you know, how to play this new layout officially. I know the guys are just going to go there and try to give it hell for sure. And I know people are coming at us because of globals as well. So it's, I would say a 50-50.
No.
Jaeger, don't smile too much, man. I know you smiling over there. You're like, oh shit, Zeus ain't going, man. Shit, you know. But
Yeah, I was thinking about how much money I will save from BBs if you're not there. I don't have to overshoot your ass.
come on, man. Shit, you know. No, I'll make sure that I come to the other ones. Don't worry. If
Okay,
anything,
I'll save an extra bottle then.
all right, all right, all right. But if I beat you, I want a Jaeger build. All right, that's what I want.
We'll talk about it later. I'm not gonna say anything on podcast.
Yeah.
No promises being made.
Oh shit. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. So about my team. I'm
Okay.
hopeful.
Yeah. Yeah, Zeus, you can go further. Yeah, I stopped you right there. Um, Sonny, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that their roster is not changing that much. Like, as you said, I heard Hollywood, I heard Coco, I heard Kodak, I heard TJ, I heard Tristan. I think that's five. Then Zeus six, and Capasso. I don't. Is that? I can't
Okay.
remember.
Probably the new guy. Can you say the new guy again, Zeus?
I thought all about Capasso and Mark. You said.
Mark, and then Coco is my brother, so Matt.
Yeah, but but that's seven. So it's just the eighth player.
Peso. Peso.
Peso. Oh, that's Peso. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
Peso.
don't remember him. Has he been on in Europe yet?
He has not been in Europe yet. He was
No.
here for globals. He's part of the U.S. military, so
Hmm.
yeah, he had to put in like the official request and everything. And he's the guy that he was running a lot of our mags and stuff at globals because
Oh,
he hurt his leg. Um, but yeah, wicked solid shooter. Been with us pretty much since the beginning. So um, happy to have him out in Europe. You know.
yeah, exactly. But that is happy to hear. Like your core is still there. So I think you guys have a lot of experience and a lot of synergy together. Think like the field will be really good for like Kodak for TJ because apparently he can sort of sit up, stand up while still not being his head above the thing. I'm still amazed how he does that. And Coco Kodak, yeah, they'll probably have well really good time at the Rusack field. Like for Tristan and Hollywood, it's gonna be a little bit different, I think. They're really solid stand-up shooters, and this field, will force them down. So I'm really interested in how well they will adjust to that. But yeah, as I said, like you guys have a solid team, so you're probably one of the contenders for the series this year.
No. Yeah, East Coast Energy. I saw you guys a lot this year, Pro Series and in USA. No, definitely a good team. Didn't get any worse, didn't get any better. It's kind of the same. You guys have kind of the same roster, what is a very good thing. You can work where you ended last year. What is a good thing for you guys because you won globals, of course. You had a big fight, I'm gonna say, in globals. You were fighting against each other. You were the main contender over there, but had a big struggle in prelims. But still made it happen. One of the biggest things I like about you guys is the determination you guys have and the grit. Um, yeah, I'm very excited to see you guys playing over here with all the pistol players. Kodak, I love him playing. He's so nonchalant in his playing style, but still he makes it. Coco is a little bastard. I still remember it until today. He made me so mad on the Pro Series 3. I couldn't shoot him off break until I got off the break and set someone else on. Then it worked. Yeah, then we have TJ, of course, big head of the team. You, of course, Tristan, Hollywood. I will never forget him anymore. Yeah, the new guy and the paintball guy. I'm looking forward to see them play. Um, you, I see Blaze, Lucky, and Oki not gonna play this year in Pro Series, or they are.
So Lucky, Hannah, and Waze are not going to play this year in Pro Series.
Okay.
They're kind of anchoring and pioneering the new team. So synergy.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I hope Yeah, you will be the main target of all teams, I think, to win against. You guys are going in the new season with the best odds, to be honest. You have the same roster, so to be honest, I would prefer less changes in my team and just play with the same guys. It's you can start where you ended. So yeah, definitely looking forward to see you guys out there in 3 weeks. Hope to see you there too, but we will see. Okay, with that said, actually, we are over all teams. To be honest, I'm excited to the first Pro Series. I think it will be very challenging for every team. There's no, how I need to say it, no main team who we can say this team is gonna win. Of course, the layout is a big influence for this. But yeah, we have some changes here and there. Yeah, it will be a very interesting first Pro Series. If you guys want to add anything more, if not, we can go over to the questions of the listeners. So,
I think I'm pretty good. I mean, what about you, Jaeger?
I'm pretty good as well. Let's go to the questions.
okay, we have some good questions. First one is from Croatia. I have some questions that will already be answered, so I need to take a second look, guys. This one is from 187 Doc. Is it hard to play with a jet lag and get the replicas over? Both of you can answer this because, yeah, you both traveled this year. So, Zeus, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, playing with the jet lag is tough. One thing that I try to do is I try to take a red eye so then I can sleep on the plane. So then when I do land, it feels like, just a normal day, right? You're just waking up on a plane. So, excuse me. But I mean, ultimately, getting the replicas, oof, sorry, I got a cough spell. Getting the replicas over is tough. We have to ship them, so
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, definitely. Sonny, tell about your experience.
Well, the jet lag at the globals almost disbanded the chasers. I think our flight landed like I think like a quarter past midnight. So we were like 3 a.m. at the house. We went to sleep. Then we trained the first evening already at the extreme, and I think we had to go at each other for the most ridiculous things. Like seriously, like people want to have a go at each other. Like yeah, so yeah, you just like for the globals, which is a big event, multiple days training and stuff. Yeah, it's just the jet lag is hard. That's definitely something to take care of. Also, yeah, shipping the products, everything was covered by Airsoft Doctor. He took it upon him to arrange it for us, which was really well oiled arranged. So I wouldn't be able to say anything about that because I did not partake in any of it apart from
Okay.
bringing the guns to him.
Okay. To be honest, I'm actually very amazed that you guys have difficulties with jet lag. I traveled 3 times this year to the US, never had a jet lag. My main thing was just once you arrive, it's not a safety meeting, but stay awake as long as you can, and then just go to sleep, and it will go over as nothing. Actually, I never had any problems with the jet lag in USA, but going back was different. That's one thing. Okay, the next one is from, I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce it right. It's difficult for me. It's from Lars Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. What are the goals this year besides winning? Zeus, tell me.
I mean, a personal goal is I need to get back on my fitness journey, right? 2023, I lost like 45 pounds in 90 days, right?
Yeah.
And I had this mentality that I wanted to be the best player that I could be for my team. And with my new job and my life situations that are going on, I've kind of lost track of like the overall goal, right? So I want to get back on track. Obviously, always looking to improve as a player, a captain, for the community, for everything, right? So, um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Just try to get my ass back in gear essentially, and be the best that I can.
Yeah. Okay. Now, fighting against yourself. So,
Yeah.
okay. Sonny, tell me, what are your goals for this year?
No, I just adjusted them because y'all be having those personal life stuff. So I think this year I have to work on that a little.
Start a personal life.
Yeah, start a personal life. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I'm a busy guy. There's a lot of things coming to you guys for the community from out myself, which I'm really happy to work on. More Jaeger stuff coming up. And yeah, apart from that, like yeah, I think really a personal life is something I have to work on. That's yeah,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Fair point. Fair
Yeah.
point. Okay. Okay, this is actually a good question from Rush Onyx. If we could change something, and I'm gonna say one thing, especially for you, Sonny, if we can change one thing in the rule book, what would it be? Zeus.
Well, we gotta start with Jaeger first on this one, man. I gotta decide.
Sonny, only one thing.
Mm. Uh, yeah, well, I think reffing will be have a better dimension if we add uh a third degree. But
Okay,
yeah, let's give it a
explain.
better name because it sounds really stupid. You're saying like, yeah, you got a third degree. No, but I think we need a better dimension for penalties. It sometimes feels a little bit too either too rough uh, or not rough enough. What I mean by that, sometimes we're not sure if it's a first degree or wasn't a hit at all. And I think yeah, the riffing needs more dimension in general.
No,
Got a lot of ideas with that, but yeah, that's maybe something for the future. But I think that's something that should be changed.
no. I'm just gonna say one thing about that, Sonny. Actually, one of the things what could be good for just us is that they will add by the in the rule book for the penalties. They will give an explanation like the refs have to decide. So if this happens, like just say it's a headshot, but it's only seen by one. I once had it. I got a headshot, but it was a ricochet. They said it was a headshot. Okay, no problem. Got a first degree. It was only seen by one person, so it was a first degree. Otherwise, it was a major. But these are things that are not in the rule book. What they should better add, so we also know this. So,
Oh,
Zeus.
I kind of want to adjust my question because of you. I also think that a major should be changed because I think it's freaking ridiculous that if you get a headshot and now you're suddenly with 4, and if you get a first degree, you're with 3.
No.
In certain like finals or certain situations, I'd rather get the major. I'm like, no, 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 I got a hit on my head. Give me a major.
Yeah, actually, good thing. Zeus remembers this too, I think. Remember US Championships first game we needed to play against Tacos. I shot the Sweeney. I gave him a major. Actually, he did it to himself, but he got a major. He couldn't play for 6 rounds. So I understand the point, especially for in finals. If you yeah, gonna say you're gonna cheat on purpose. It's better to get the major than a first degree, but overall, it's worse. So I understand the point, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
situational, and that it should
yeah
never be situational. And also, I think like getting a player out, if I get hit on the chest and I decide to cheat it, that's the same thing as if I get hit on the head and decide to cheat it. But the difference is like I'm out for a tournament or I'm out for one game. Um, I think just in general, it's just a little bit weird. Like if in the final someone cheats a headshot, then it's actually better than
a first
a
degree.
first degree
Yeah.
because that's gonna lose you the final.
Yeah.
So that's weird. You know what I mean? It's stupid. That at one that if you do it at the beginning of the tournament, it's the worst penalty you can get. If you do it at the end of the tournament, it's actually the penalty you can get. That
Yeah.
just that feels so weird.
But on the end, you still have to play. It was a lot of rounds. You have to play with four guys. So for first degree, it's only 3 tries. So 3 rounds.
Yeah, okay, but let's say there's 5 minutes left in the finals. Would you rather have 3 breakouts with 3 and then 2 breakouts with 5, or you rather have 5 breakouts with 4? Because I'll know the answer.
Yeah.
I'd rather have
Five,
five
five.
breakouts with
Yeah,
4.
yeah, yeah,
Know what I mean? So
yeah. But
it's a weird concept.
yeah, no, I understand. Actually, it needs to be fine-tuned, and like you said, it's all situational. So, yeah, okay, good one, good one. Zeus, if you could change one thing,
I would make a like disqualification maximum for penalties, right? To where like if a team gets X amount of penalties, they should be disqualified, because like, and I'm not trying to throw shade at any teams or anything, but us getting second place with what 8 penalties or something like that in U.S. champions, and Tacos getting like 27 penalties total. I mean, that's just outrageous. And for any team that does it, I mean, like if you're just planning on going to try to manipulate the rules as much as you can to win, I mean, are you really winning? You know,
yeah,
um,
uh, yeah, was
like
one.
that's how I feel at least. I mean, why should teams be able to get 28 penalties? And I know the way that the penalty system works and that people are supposed to start down players or whatever, but when is it like too much, you know?
Yeah, and actually, maybe Zeus don't know, but I think Sonny, you can remember. Um, do you remember what is it? The Howler Monkeys.
Oh yeah, no,
You,
I
you
remember.
you you remember it?
Yeah.
It was in Speed KB, there was a rule if you get too many penalties, you will be disqualified and you lose X amount of points. But funny thing was they were on the first spot. So they lost. It was very challenging who would win. And I think Sabres won then. That was for the qualification of the Pro Series Speed
Yeah, exactly.
KB.
I was still captain of RMV back then, but
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that one. Uh,
yeah,
uh, uh, they lost the whole thing where and all the points. It was a really weird. But the same thing happened to like I agree with Zeus there, but I would argue to make it only for hit management penalties.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what I said. Like the whole it needs fine tuning in all parts, I think. But yeah, like I feel like it's not being addressed enough. But I think at the Saviors in the whole Pro Series last year, I think we had one first degree, and that I think I got it because of I think I yelled something I was not allowed to yell. Uh, I got
Can happen. Can happen.
yeah, no, I'm suddenly toxic for a reason. Um, and the rest was all second degrees, and I think we had less than 10 or maybe around 10-ish over 3 events.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's what I'm more proud of actually than a lot of other things that we did so well with the hit management. But yeah, we never promote anything like that. Like it never that stat is never be seen anywhere.
No.
But I do agree that if you get so many penalties, at some point there has to be some consequence to the team, like apart from you losing so many games. But yeah, if you're actually getting ahead because of it, then it's just weird.
Um,
And that's the thing. That's the general thing. I just tried like with the major and the first green. What Zeus is telling now that uh, you should not be able to manipulate the penalty system in a favorable way.
Right.
Like that's there should be no way to do that. Never, ever.
I agree.
Actually, by the aspect, if you get X amount of penalties disqualifying the team is kind of difficult, I think. It would be maybe better for also for players itself if they get X amount of penalties, counting up by maybe if you get a first degree, it's let me say you can get 10 points. Second degree is 1 point. First degree is 2 points. And a major is maybe 5. Make it a big one. But if they reach on 10 points, they are disqualified for the event. So they get really punished by if you are not willing to be the gentleman you have to be on the field, because still it's a gentleman sports. Refs can't see everything. But yeah, punish the player. What will punish it also for the team. So they can't. And let me just say, it's the star of the team, but he's the biggest cheater. I'm gonna say. And he gets so he gets to the 10 points. He will get banished off the event for that. For that event. So he can't play anymore. So yeah, it's something we need to, it would be a good thing to implement. And it's all about the fine tuning and making sure you have the general rules, but you have subcategories in all these rules that needs to be written down. So there is a strict, just way of doing things. So,
Yeah, even like if you were to cap it at like 20 penalties total on a team or something.
Yeah.
Set it as a high number, but like once it starts going past that, like the US championship game, like it went past that and it's like, how is this even possible? Like how is it possible that this team is still doing this good and manipulating it so much? And it's because they're getting the penalties after the games are already executed and they're already getting the hangs and the points and the snatches and so on and so forth from the players that aren't cheating. But, that's like one thing that I've always told my players, right? Have I gotten pulled before? For sure. Has TJ gotten pulled? For sure. All of my players have gotten pulled. But, it's like, yo, if you're going to go out there and intentionally fucking cheat, I'm going to kick your ass, and that's how it should be because all these teams should be accountable for their players as a whole,
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. But
No, definitely. And I 100, 200% agree with you, definitely. Okay. Next one is from Wolf's Hikai. How will the holes in the bunkers affect the gameplay and reffing? Ooh, we can go an hour over this, I think.
God.
Let's just contain it like it's horrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad for sure.
We will see first Pro Series, I think. We will need to see. So it will be challenging. So that's the only thing I can say about it. Still, on the end, we need to see we will experience the first Pro Series, and then the point will be set, and then we can say something about it. Now we are only speculating about it, how we think about it. But yeah, we are not 100% sure how they're gonna run it or how they're gonna do it. So yeah, we will see. Next one is from Hefe Airsoft, for both of you guys. With the new layout, any considerations to an AEP1 with their low recoil and fixed triggers. Zeus, what is your opinion about the AAP1?
I've always been a fan of AAP01s. We dabbled in some like CTM products and stuff like that here at Extreme, and I've seen good and bad. I think that personally, my biggest fear with an AAP01 is that I've never really had the opportunity to build them and use them myself, right? So, and I know that's like the fear of some of my guys. It has been a topic of using AAP01s because of the no recoil. And they just cycle so fast. You know, you don't even really have to do anything to them, and they just are quick. So, definitely something that we've thought a lot about for sure.
Yeah. Sonny, Saviors already took the consideration.
Yeah, well, before Hefe came along, we already started using the AAPs. Yeah, we're a big fan of them. I like them. The only thing is you have to get used to them. Like the no recoil is actually a thing. Like, yeah, you know, I've been a kappa player. So getting my own kappa, which I'm accustomed to, I did so many shots through. Yeah, your hand starts adjusting to the recoil and starting to play the AAP. That's the first thing I noticed. Like, there's no recoil, and yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is actually quite shit. But then I got used to the fact that it's not shit. It's actually good. It made laning a lot easier, more consistent, smaller sprays. So yeah, definitely a big fan of it. It's a viable concept. Yeah, people should just try to get what they like most and what fits their kind of playstyle. Like the AAP will win you championships easily.
No, it brings less problems if you compare it with the Kappa.
A lot more, it's a lot less moving parts and a lot more air efficient. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I cannot say anything about it. I never used it. I back in time used the 3D printed split slide with no recoil. I love the no recoil. Like Sonny says, you need to get used to it. You really need to get used to it. When I'm using my Kappa right now, I have my one balls. I'm used to the recoil. I'm used to handling the Kappa, but playing without recoil is way different. But it will only bring benefits with it, no downgrades. So yeah, maybe we should think about it too. I'm not sure.
yeah. Well, CTM is coming with this new thing where you can have a mag in front, like M4.
Yeah,
It's
That's
crazy. Like I really do wonder if it's allowed because I'm gonna run it.
probably not. It's the rules say the virus of Vinci or all the other ones are not allowed because an M4 needs a stock or a tank grip.
No, it's still a pistol. I'm gonna run it as a pistol.
It's not, yeah, normally it's not allowed as a pistol.
No,
But
the
maybe
only
with the
difference
way,
is instead of the mag in lower, it's now mag up front.
actually, maybe it is allowed because pistols need to have like
Blowback.
the blowback, yeah. So
It's
maybe,
still a pistol. Yeah, only I put the mag in front instead of the back.
yeah, okay. I would just try it first Pro Series, first degree Jaeger.
I'll just do it. First degree major. Equipment failure is a major, right?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I always make sure I'm doing the right things with my stuff, so I'm not have to worry about that. Next one is from Hyper. He is for Sonny. Where is Gray Tall as gonna play?
Well, he can hide behind Hyper J walking back. So after he shot his ass.
To be honest, Sonny, I was wondered by Gray playing this weekend. In the beginning, I was like, okay, he's a tall guy, but he really is paving his way into the field. He's really using his height into the field. So I'm excited to see him play.
In real strike, it's fine. He just like he used to play Snake. Like you
Mhm.
just go back to like the Speed QB days, and Gray was a Snake player, so there is no issues there. The bunkers are pretty high. Like don't get his ass into like the Kortrijk, the ESL field because the bunkers are really lower there,
Yeah.
and you'll see his big ass sticking out. But like for real strike, he's fine. And the thing is though, like because the field is so small and so low, there are certain points where because he's that tall and he can jump that high, he has better angles than everyone else.
Mhm.
You think you're hiding? Not for him. He can see your ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Gray is Gray. He's one of the best pistol players in the world for a reason, and he's the most athletic guy I know.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like our trainings are his warm ups. You know it, and everyone think they're fast and they're flexible, and then they meet Ray. So
Okay. No, I'm actually very looking forward to see Gray play in his alter boots. So yeah. Next one is from Abstract. It's for both of you guys. What was it like for you guys joining or creating a team? Zeus, talk to me.
Man, I mean, creating ECE was, you know, originally I wanted to play on a team that I helped coach, right? And they were called NES. It was New England Speed Soft. And they pretty much told me no, that they didn't want me to play for them, that I was overweight and all this other stuff, blah, 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 right? So creating a team for me meant so much more than just playing airsoft. It was like, I'm going to prove everyone fucking wrong. I'm going to
Yeah.
build the fucking best team that I can, and I'm going to smash people all the time, and I don't care who stands in my way, and especially with training new guys the way that we did, I was a motherfucker at first. I was not the nice, happy Zeus that everyone sees all the time. They're like, "Hey, Zeus, how you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, man, what's good?" No, I was a dick, and these guys learned that way, and I do think that that's why they play the way they do. And Abstract is case in point of me training someone, him learning, and then him developing his own way for sure. So it was hard, but it was a lot of fun, and I loved every second of it. And I would go back and do it all over again if I could.
Yeah, nice. It was worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was worth it.
Okay, nice. Sonny, for you.
yeah, well, I never actually created a team. I know I went to pick up my first pizza build, and then I played pickups, and I wasn't even ready to play pickups, because I was like in jeans and like dress pants. And I know El Diablo, he recruited me. I was like, yeah, we have tournament next week. Come play for us. I'm like, okay, fine. At the end of the day, the tournament didn't go because of Corona. But yeah, like I think I can be quite obsessive. If I like something, I go for it with everything I have. So I think my first team RNV, Rest Non Verba, they recognized that, so they let me take over the reins uh, without me asking for it, but just by leading by example. And then we came in the Pro Series. We did really well, getting third in our first season.
Yeah.
Actually second, but yeah, that's a long story. Uh, but then we had a few guys stopping, Saviors and a few guys stopping, and we talked about like merging up, and like the Saviors were already such a big name. So yeah, it was only natural to like take over that team.
Yeah.
But I also told him like, yeah, well, if you want to have me and Fabio, and I think we had Abyss and Van Hoofdtoen, the four players. There was two recruits, so it's actually me and El Diablo. And I told them like, yeah, well, I cannot be joining and be a player. So you either take me in as captain, or you don't take me in at all. because I'm just too
obsessed.
too obsessive about it, and I have these ideas and stuff. So we had a lot of talks about it. People were a little bit now. Well, some were like, "Yeah, let's do it." Some were like, "Yeah, well, I'm not sure." You can probably remember because the first event when we went together, like the whole scene was like, "Why the f are you making Jaeger captain? Are you guys crazy?" Yeah, and then yeah, everything after that is basically the past. Like I think we had a full streak of top three finishes.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I think for me that if creating a team would count is that from the starting of the Saviors to where we are now, the respect that the players get from the community, the respect that I get from the players of my own team, the synergy we have, the fun we have, the brothership we did. Yeah, that's something that I will probably still be talking when I'm in a retirement home. And I would, yeah, when I was 36, you know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, no, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like this is, and I hope I will be part of it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I can sometimes kill every one of them twice, but I wouldn't trade any of them for anyone else.
You're doing it with all your heart, we will
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I have one question for you, Sonny. You played so Saviors, RNV, but didn't you also play on McFlip?
I always say that. Like, I actually was already part of RV, but I got subbed in for the European Championship for McFlip
Okay.
because they needed players. So, and because we were already training RV, but I didn't really had an official tournament yet. I was like, no, I started on McFlip just because. Well,
Okay.
we came in fourth, so it was not even a bad tournament.
No, no.
Was,
At that time, I wasn't there. I was still a rookie for the Speeds of the World. So I was already in it, but we couldn't play.
yeah.
Okay. Next one is also from Abstract for both of you. Did you guys imagine your team would be where it is today? It's actually leading up to the previous question. So Zeus, tell me.
I mean, I didn't know necessarily if my team would be where it is today, but I definitely knew that this is the direction that I wanted to go in, right? So, um, I remember we had, like I told you about that sponsored team that I wanted to be a part of. They were also sponsored from Extreme. And I remember that things were not gelling with Extreme and them. And my dad pulled me aside one day and he said, I want you to build the best fucking speed soft team in the world. And I said, okay. And our first event, we got 11th place. That was in Indiana. And that was a very humbling experience for us, go all that way to get our asses slammed.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, I always wanted it, I always wanted it. And I felt like I wanted it worse than everybody on the field. And I would go to the gym every day. And when shit was hard, or when my life was hard, or anything was hard, it's like, how bad do you want to be that champion? How bad do you want to be a champion? What are you going to do to change your life to be the best that you can ever be? What does it take? And so I guess ultimately, I kind of knew that it would end up like this,
It's
in
actually
some weird way.
it's very simple. If you can dream it, you can make it true. So
For sure.
yeah, nice. Sonny, for you,
What was the question again? I
would
got a
you
little hard time with the story.
did you guys imagine your team would be where it is today?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that was the goal. Like that's also something that we talked about also, especially the last season. Like we always uh gave a lot of priority to being also this friends team and this brotherhood. And I also said like, okay, well, we're gonna have like two different groups. We're gonna have the saviors, fun and party, and we're gonna have the guys that want to, really dominate everyone else. And if you don't want to come on the field, want to dominate someone, then you're gonna be for the fun in the games. So I think when the response was actually quite overwhelming, everyone's like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be it. We're gonna do it. Then I was like, okay, well, we're gonna win it all this year. Like the second event, we came a little bit short. I think we were a little bit too, because we played Terranites 2 times in a row. And the first time, I think we mercied them. So we're like, okay, well, then we have the quarterfinal against them. Yeah, okay. I think everyone was like, well, we'll be nothing. And they were like, okay, whatever happens, we're gonna see blood. So that's something we learned, like never ease up on anyone.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think in the Pro Series itself, we were quite dominant. And that's just that motivation was started at the beginning of the year, and I think also we just been so fruitful with our partnerships the last year. Everything just at some point just kept going, rolling the right way, and that really kept our team going really strong.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said already, one thing I admire the most about Saviors is just all the guys being so humble and being on the same level and following you. You are the alpha of the team, and everyone is following you, believing in you, and really trusting you. So that is really making the dream work. So okay. Next one.
I'm lucky enough to have that, in all fairness, like to have people like that behind you.
No, definitely. Just the thing, your players, your teammates believing in you as a captain gives you more energy to put in more work, more energy into them. So it's all about respect. If you can't get the respect from your team, what's the point of getting them better or putting the extra work in? So next one is from Aleza Primex. This one is a good one. Thoughts about not overshooting? Zeus.
I mean, honestly, I really don't like overshooting people. Even though overshooting, you can overshoot in Pro Series, right? I'm still a firm believer of, you hit them 1, 2, 3 times, let them get off the field. But, in the times that they're not getting off the field, well, I like this. I like overshooting, you know what I mean? I will put a whole ass mag into someone and trace them off the field and not care. But I personally don't like doing it. I do it out of retaliation, I guess.
Yeah. It's only overshoot when it's needed.
For sure.
Yeah.
Give them the whole. Come on.
Sonny, tell me.
Well, I used to say always, I give them some extra love taps or educational taps because of like the guys Zeus just pointed out, they're not getting off the field. I must say, I feel like sometimes it's getting a little bit out of hand. But it's so situational. Like at some like I feel like sometimes it's a little bit of destroying the game, in a sense where people keep shooting at each other, and we can't really distinguish what's going on in the game anymore, or the actual overshooting. I think I did it together with with Ollie, where we had like this Mexican standoff with the last player, and we also just kept shooting yeah, I don't know. I find it hard. I think it's part of the game, but at some point we have to get some common sense back into it, I
No,
guess.
no, definitely. I agree with it's being situational. To be honest, it's all to see who you are playing against. Like if I'm playing Sonny, of course, I'm gonna give him some extra love taps. But he's doing the same to me, and it's not that it's getting out of hand. It's just like the fight between us.
Yeah.
On the ends, when I'm overshooting, but overshooting to overshoot, I'm always saying I will only do this if it's needed. So if I'm 100% sure he did me dirty and yeah, just was a pain in the ass, I will show him a lesson once, but it's only, like I said, it's situational. Um, of course, FDR I had it with Hyper on globals. He was showing a big mouth before globals the whole time. It was like just shit talking to each other, and I only told him like, you will see. Wait, and every game I was following to the dead books, and that is something. Okay, is it needed? No, it's not needed, but it's showing a lesson. And this doesn't mean I will do it to everyone. It will be a friend, or we will, how would you say it? We will know each other and we will laugh after it about it, but it's not like I really want to hurt you right now. And even as everyone knows from me, you can overshoot me as many as you want. I don't care. I really don't care. Um, and after all, I'm not going to be mad at you. You saw it on Nations 2. I had the standoff with the spicy kangaroo. But after all, I don't care. You know, I had adrenaline. Okay, I said like, okay, he didn't stop shooting. I don't stop shooting too. For me, it was a trade. He wanted to make the trade. Okay, it was okay. You don't go and stop shooting. I'm not either. But afterwards, it's shake a hand, good friends. It was fun, and let's go back to the game. But my main thing about the whole concept about overshooting, like my team is everyone and my team is allowed to do it, but there is one strict rule. If they lose their focus of the game and they are more focused on overshooting people for no reason, go to the bench. It's as easy as that. Because then there's no point of setting you back on the field. So not overshooting, it's situational. It's more kind of teaching someone a lesson. But I agree with Sonny too. Sometimes it's getting a little bit out of hand. But I think maybe in the pro we can really keep it acceptable. As everyone know, if I overshoot Sonny and Sonny overshoot me, nobody's going to say anything about it.
No.
But if I'm doing it like, just for example, I'm overshooting your little sister Zeus, people will say like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
that's something different, you know?
Oh, I overshot his sister during the Pro 3. She got me one like, no, 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 no. We're gonna correct something.
But it's all situational. But yeah, we will see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm never out there to try to. I'm never out there to try to like hurt anybody. You know, that's like my big thing is like this is all supposed to be fun at the end of the day. Yeah, it's competitive. You know, we're all out here. We're all competing to be the best that we can, right? We're not trying to hurt each other. You
No.
know, just I agree with you. You know, it's definitely situational, and we just got to make sure we're not out there really killing each other. You know.
No, exactly. It shouldn't be like that someone is like lying on his back and we're like, okay, I see his chin, let's just dump him a mag on
Yeah.
his chin or something. You know what I mean? That like there has to be some courtesy left. But yeah, if I shoot a half mag on your lens, yeah, you're not gonna feel anything about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just for example, like if any of you guys watched the World Cup of NXL, there was a match in the semifinals where there was a lot of penalties thrown. One penalty for overshooting. It was the guy from Diesel who overshot the guy of Paintball Fit, but he got the penalty. Why? He shot him. He did like 360 around him and just keep shooting at his head. And then there is where you draw the line. There's where I kind of say like you are really trying to hurt him.
Yeah, but
And
you paintball. Like you can mag dump me on my head with airsoft. If you mag dump me with paintball from 2 meters, that shit gonna hurt.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's different. You know what I mean? And that's yeah. I
Yeah.
can understand that at some point. Like I can also understand it's part of the game. But yeah, like at some point it's also dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as you're not by how I need to say are willing to hurt the person, and when I mean willing is like really shooting all the places where it's less protected, like you said on the chin or something, and really trying to get under his mask. There's where you really draw the line. Yeah. It's situational. I think everyone in the pro can make the difference where you can draw the line. If not, yeah, you will get punished. That's the thing. So, and it's all to see which guys are overshooting. If it's like I said, if it's me and Sonny overshooting each other, nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah, but we're probably both having fun.
Yeah, that's the
Fist
thing.
bump each other in the thing. So the difference is like it's still it should be fun.
Yeah,
It should be a fun aspect of it. Of like okay, and not that point. Okay, I'm actually trying to legally damage or hurt you because that's fun for me. That's a whole different thing.
yeah,
It's same as kickboxing. Like if you hit each other on the head, there's some aspect of fun about it. That's why you kickbox. Like oh, he got me good.
yeah,
Not and where in street fighting, I'm just gonna try to punch your teeth out. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that there's
yeah,
a difference in that, and that's the same with overshooting. I don't know.
yeah.
Like it has to be sportive in some way.
Yeah, it still has to be fun, and you you don't need to hurt the other person. So that's actually the main thing of it. Okay. He has the next question. As our premix thoughts about VAR not being used for hits anymore. Back to only refs and 3 challenges. Zeus.
Wait a minute. Did you just say they're not using the VAR this year?
I think you need to read the chat again.
Oh,
ask DJ to bring up the texts. No,
man,
the
that's crazy.
just
Yeah.
a quick so they are not going to use they are still going to use the VAR, but not for hit checks, only for situational things. The real explanation about the situational things wasn't mentioned. But it will all come down to the refs on the field. So if a ref calls, like Musha get shot on the arm, okay, second degree, get off the field. Yeah, well, let me think. And I say, no, I'm not hit. I can do a challenge. So you have 3 challenges per event. Then they're gonna take the VAR, check if it's seen on the VAR. If they can see the hit on my arm, my challenge is gone because it was a wrong challenge. If there is no hit, no impact, just a ricochet, and they can see it on the VAR, I get my challenge back and I don't get the penalty. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh God, man, that's gonna be so fucking crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be unique on its own. I think the VAR was probably one of the best things that they put in terms of trying to look for shots and stuff. And them kind of eliminating it. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. Some events I feel targeted out there, like how am I, I don't know, at least US Championship for sure, I felt targeted. It was like, oh, you got hit in your tank and you got hit on your shoe and you got hit on your slide. I was like, bro, come fucking on, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty decent at my hit management, you know, but definitely in some aspects, I feel like it's like, oh yeah, no, he fucking got shot, you know, and it's like,
But then the problem was like, for example, you get a hit on the shoe, you can't feel it. Where's the proof? That's
right,
that's one of the big struggles we had last year. Normally, with this year, if we get a challenge, we can see the footage. I hope we can see the footage so we
right.
can
I agree.
really see like even I had sometimes we played the Pro Series and I was 100% sure I hit him. And I asked for a challenge by fives, and fives told me no hit, it's clean. And I checked on the stream, saw the hit, I was like, bro, come on. And I sent it to
Right.
fives, and then if we can see the proof, maybe we see something. But now it will not be fives anymore. We can see something they don't see because they are not on the field, if you know what I mean. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
it will be different this year. We will see how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be tough. I mean, I wish that what they would do is whenever someone gets a penalty, they would take the VAR footage and they would put it on the stream. And it's not necessarily calling someone out in terms of, oh, you're cheating, but I mean, what if it's something so minor and it's like, you know, in your head, you're thinking it's one way, but really it was another. And it's like you got skimmed on the slightest bit of your belt or something or whatever it is, you know? So that's kind of where I hope that it will eventually go with the VAR system where they can
No,
stream it over.
no,
But
definitely. Yeah, we will see. Sonny, tell me.
Like the problem I had last year with the VAR is the VAR was obsolete. Meaning that a ref saw something, we can convert with the VAR, so it's not a penalty. Like that means that the refs are useless.
Yeah.
On the other hand, now we're going the other way. We have a VAR, but now the refs say I saw something, and that's the penalty. I just don't get it. I don't. That's why I also said earlier about the third degree or something. I think you should have like a point system or a checklist system. Where is it? Okay, what happened? Okay, a ref saw someone from zone three shooting someone else to zone three, and the player in zone three got hit. So that's a long distance call. Okay. Uh, how many refs saw it? Just one. How many BBs? Just one. What part of the body? Shoulder. Whatever. Okay. Can we confirm by the VAR? No, we cannot confirm by the VAR. Okay, then it's checklist. Boom. Second degree or third degree or whatever. Did a second ref see it? Okay, that's a different story. Did the VAR confirm it? That's a different story. So it's basically like a checkbox you're doing. So that means
Yeah.
that penalties will be really consistent
Right.
because it will be like how many information did we gather in total to come to this conclusion. That means that also the penalty system will be different. Is someone from zone one shooting at someone at zone one and the ref saw it, then we're pretty sure that that ref is not fucking blind. So that means we can already have certain boxes checked.
Yeah.
And I think if you have like this combination between the VAR and the refs, so they have equal footing, then you can really up the game in general. And I feel like the change now is better for the refs because they're more valuable now, but it will not improve the quality of our games
No.
because we're still dealing with humans. They're still reffing all day, and at the point where there's more at stake, more problems will occur because it's at the end of the Sunday where we're already reffing 12 hours or 14 hours or 18 hours
Yeah.
or whatever. So keeping that consistency is something we should try to enforce more, and that can help with like second and third degrees where you have like maybe a little less important penalty instead of having it stacked up like crazy. And I think it can do refining more. And I think the VAR is a great system, but it's not perfect. And we've seen it last year. But the reason we went to a VAR is because we already know that reffing itself is not perfect because we're not shooting paint.
No,
Right.
you don't see a mark. So
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like it's a player point of view, and also I want to mention that I still think we need one or two refs on the stadium because they see different things. But yeah, that's
and
how I view it.
actually, I want to add something about that. Like, if you have like the checkbook, was what Sonny was talking about. If you have guys, maybe 2 or 4 guys standing upstairs, they see the game on a different eye, a point of view, and they can really tell, like, okay, maybe there's a trade happening or somebody is going toward a line and he saw someone shooting. Then the person from above can say, like, that was catchy. I would like to check that on the VAR. Like, first you can ask, did the ref saw something? No, the ref didn't saw something. But did the guys from upstairs saw something? Was it sketchy? Yes or no? No. Yes. Okay. Check the VAR, and then we can go further and further. But like Sonny said, with the checkbook, you will have consistent um, penalties and calls throughout the whole tournament because you can go over all these topics without any questioning. But it takes time, and yeah, we will see what will happen this year. That's the only thing I can say. It will be challenging with the 3 challenges. So if you use them wrong, you will lose them all, and you will have nothing left. So it is about having your team on the right mindset. Like, don't complain about things you are not 100% sure. If you are 100% sure, then you come up to me and we can talk about it. But don't come for bullshit calls, because otherwise you're gonna spill all the challenges. So okay. Okay, we have already some questions answered throughout the whole episode. We have one from Gripped. Any upcoming players you are looking forward to watch in challengers? Okay. Zeus, for you, we're gonna switch it to East Conference because you are more known over there. Tell me.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of new players that I've seen here at Extreme. So, I mean, definitely, the players on Synergy, I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see, the players on Red Rum, which is Murder Inc.'s second team.
Yeah.
The Kings are the old NGSS team combined with new guys. I know they've been putting in a lot of work. I can't wait to see them. In particular, like a particular person, I don't know if I necessarily have like one particular person. I want to see multiples grow,
Yeah.
So
Okay. Sonny, for you, any upcoming new players and challengers you are looking forward to see?
I'm not particular in players. I think Limburg shotguns will be interesting
Yeah.
to see in the challengers. Yeah, I expected to Legion and OB play challengers as well, but apparently they're not. Because I was really looking forward to having like an Apex, an OB, Legion,
Yeah.
Limburg shotguns, and I'm forgetting one.
Rush?
Milites.
Militas, yeah.
Milites. I think they're pretty powerhouses.
Yeah, definitely.
like if you would combine them with maybe the three worst players of the pro division, then they will still not be the three best in that league. So, but yeah, uh, there are not really a lot of new players. I'm really wondering how the new teams will do on this field, though.
No.
That's something that challengers will be really interesting to see. But yeah, the mentioned teams before, I think they will be contending for that next pro spot.
Okay. One quick question for you, Sonny, for challengers. Will you continue coaching Apex?
I'm undecided yet. Will as saviors probably still have a role helping them, but also they'll try to coach themselves more this year.
Okay.
Something they want to do, and it's also like a good preparation for the pro because they can't be coached when they're there. So we'll see how we can help them and how we train with them. But it will not be the same as last year. Well, I'll be full-time coaching.
Maybe the slap wasn't good for Sugar Rush.
I need to save the slaps for my own team, like the
Okay.
magic slaps. Then I don't have like it's like I'm a genie, you know. I only have you get 3 slaps, so
Okay.
I have to use them well.
Oh, damn. Okay. Spare one of these slaps for fives, maybe to wake up.
Oh no, I'm not slapping fives. I want to continue training and playing at real strike.
Okay. Next one is for you, Jaeger, from Silent but Deadly. What is the difference between your leadership at work and your leadership in Airsoft? And what do you take from work that you can't apply in Airsoft to be at the top level right now? Big
This
question.
podcast is going way too long for such difficult questions. Let's see. I think like not many people know, for instance, but I'm a manager at a municipality. I'm responsible for all the maintenance of the physical domain. That means part of my job is also coaching people. I think it's always important to connect with people and try to facilitate their potential and their talents. The difference only is that on work, I probably am more empathic, where in Airsoft, I have more of a tough love approach, where I believe that you have to be hard on yourself in order to improve. Uh, like, I've been in a pretty heavy accident myself, and I think what helped me in my recuperation was not accepting anything less than everything I could give, and that forced me and that helped me to keep going. And I think that's in sports in general, is that the mindset you need. Like, is this really everything I can give, or is there more? And if there is more, then bring it out and start giving it.
Yeah.
And work, it's just a little bit different, I guess. That's people tend to have more emotions, I guess. So you have to be more empathic and start, understand people more, where they're coming from and why they're doing this. And in the sport, it's really more of a choice, where you want to give everything. Okay, this is what it's gonna take. Like, how are we gonna make sure you're gonna bring it your own? And also, like, I'm really hard on people where I see potential in. And if I see you're not giving it all, then I'm almost at the point where I'm like a little bit annoyed when it's not coming out. Like, okay, I know you can do it, so come on, let's do it.
Yeah. It's so logical what you just said. And every sport, it's all about, it's your choice to be here. You're not a small child anymore. You're an adult. So get your work done and don't complain. Don't give me excuses. Get to work and prepare for the hardest. So, yeah. Okay. Then we have the last question from Ruben Os. Who is the best newcoming NSL player? Zeus, tell me.
The best newcomer? Oh, man. I think personally the best newcomer played last year NSL, and that's Murder Inc.'s Bandit. I think Bandit, you're going to see over the next few years as he grows into being a true adult, that he's going to flourish and he's going to be an absolute menace to society out on the field.
Yeah,
I think
100% agreed. Definitely. He has great potential. It's only if he can do it or not. So, yeah, it's all up to him. Yeah. Sonny, tell me, who's the best new upcoming
Yeah,
player?
well, Ruben asked the question, so I could call him out. Ruben is our new M4 player, which I think people will be surprised on how well he adjusts from being a pro paintball player to playing NSL.
Yeah.
I'm not always that hung up on people itself because I like smart players. I think that in general, for new and upcoming, there are a lot of hungry young guys that want to try and want to do it, but their potential is not always being seen that much because of the teams they're playing or the opportunities given. For instance, let's talk about Ruben. He's getting the opportunity to play for the Saviors with a team around him that's really gonna make him shine. While maybe in a different team he would not have that opportunity. But on the other hand, it's something he deserved from the merit he gained in a different sport. It's gonna be hard, and it's always these questions are always hard at the beginning of the season. Well, you haven't seen anyone up like after the first challengers, first pro, first conference. You're gonna watch conferences, gonna watch the footages, and you're gonna like, oh damn, that guy is really good. Who's that guy? Oh, look at that. You know what I mean?
No,
And
definitely.
for now, we're just all still hung up on our Christmas turkey and just guessing who's gonna be the next real thing. You know what I mean?
No. And I have to agree with you, Sonny. I was actually pretty amazed by Rune, your new guy, how he played and how he adapted into airsoft, coming from paintball. Yeah, it's funny. I saw it on his pants. He was from paintball because of the name on his pants, Bad Boys. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to see him on the field and see him grow into a real Saviors member. So yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing paintball for a while with him as well, and the guy is really good. And yeah, he started playing paintball when he was 8. I think he has
Okay.
18 years of paintball experience. Like the three of us don't even have 18 years of experience in any shooting, paintball, and airsoft together. So yeah, it's something that it's well in depth in his DNA. So
Yeah.
NSL is just different than paintball, and he has to adjust to that. And for now, he's doing pretty well because he's not been trained that long yet. So we're really happy to have him, especially since Alikringe is in the crutches.
Yes, definitely. Okay, guys, with that said, all my questions are done. I think it's the right time to end this episode right here. I think we are over 3 hours, maybe new record. I'm not sure. It's right now, it's 11 p.m. Here in Europe, Belgium, and also with sunny Netherlands. So, one last thing, Sonny, where can people follow you and keep up with you?
Well, everyone can find us on the Saviors Airsoft on Instagram, and myself on Sof_Jaeger. But it's all been if you find the Saviors Airsoft, you'll find my account, and vice versa. So, and otherwise, check for this podcast or at Mush's Instagram.
Yeah. Zeus, where can people keep up with you?
Definitely reach out and check out eastcoast.energy on Instagram. And then mine is ece.zeus. And then also you can follow my OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
But no.
you need to find a way to come to the first Pro Series, right?
That's it, bro. I got some feet pics and all that stuff,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys. With that said, it was lovely to have you guys on. It was a very good episode. It was actually pretty fun. It was the first time we did this. Maybe we will see each other soon for a next one. We will see. I will keep you guys in touch. And yeah, we will see each other on Pro Series 1. Zeus, I hope you can make the travel. If not, it will be for the next one. Guys, see you in the next. Ciao, ciao.
Take care, guys.
Bye, man.
Guys, are you still awake? We hit a new record, I think. Almost. I'm not sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Was a long chat. It was a pleasure to have these two legends in the game sitting down with me and analyzing everything and talking a little bit about the new season. And yeah, it was a blast. I hope you guys enjoy this one. As always, if you want to stay tuned, make sure to follow us on every platform, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Every week a new episode. And for the next guest, guys, I can already say you, it is a good one. So see you in the next. Ciao, ciao.